It's 2021. Good morning and welcome to Midnight's Edge in the Morning, the first episode of the year. Greetings, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is where you is. I am Tom Connors. And joining me this morning, at least so far anyway, here is the boss man himself, Andre.
Greetings, everyone, and Happy New Year! Pretty much no matter where you are. Right now, we should be in 2021.
I don't think there's anybody left. I think they're all on board now.
We all made it past the deadline, so that's brilliant. And I see we got lots of people joining us here already, although this is early morning for many of you. We have both Sharon and Tim Hayes joining us, so good morning, everyone there. I saw Mills in the chat earlier. Madness Productions is here, who is not wrong, by the way. And we have the DJ B2. That's an awesome name also. So yeah, we have quite a diverse group. So Happy New Year, everyone. Feel free to let us know where you are, so we see what kind of... and we got Mr. H here. H, you want to join? I'll send you a link.
Yeah, I think he's coming on Monday too, but sure, he can come on in.
Yeah, if you want to join, you're most welcome to.
Find him in my...
I'll send you the link, and if you have the opportunity, you're welcome to. Or have you done it already, Tom?
I just found him. Otherwise, I got him.
Yeah, okay. You send it then.
Alrighty. But yeah, we may have a few people pop in. It's just kind of I wouldn't call it a lazy day, but we're definitely on a little bit more lax day. We didn't have anybody lined up. It's New Year's Day. Nobody's awake really, other than Mr. H, because it's already afternoon where he is.
Yeah, same with where I am. And we also have a couple of super chats. Both says Happy New Year, everyone. Indeed,
Happy New Year.
Indeed. Let's hope it will be. And Kip Ellis said, Happy New Year, Andre and Tom. Well, thank you. Happy New Year to everyone. And Happy New Year, Mr. H. How's it going?
Yeah, you must have been ready. How you doing, man? Good morning, or good afternoon for you, it is.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock here. Where is it? Andre, you're 6 p.m., I guess?
Yeah, right? It's 6:12 p.m. in my location. So
it's still morning here.
I've had plenty of time to wake. Of course, I didn't sleep much, but
oh God, no.
But I've been awake for so long that it doesn't matter anymore.
I slept for about 2 hours, and I still have 2 episodes of Cobra Kai to go. So if any of you little shits in the chat spoil it for me, I'm going to come and kick your ass. Oh, my God. I'm kidding, of course. No, but it's so far so good. I don't want to say anything to spoil anything for anybody, and I hope nobody spoils anything for me. So just got 2 more episodes to go. So
yeah. H, how are you? How was Christmas and New Year?
I'm good, first and foremost. I'm pretty decent. Christmas was a bit of a non-starter for me, really. I think, I don't speak for everyone, but I know I speak for a few good, a few people out there who this year just didn't really feel Christmassy. So it was a bit of a non-starter for me, really. New Year's was, again, about the same. Unfortunately, I'm in part of the Tier 4 restrictions, which means everything in my area is completely closed. So, yes, it's a bit of a non-starter all round, really. I just sort of hung out with Jasper, which, if anyone frequents my channel, he is a star of the show. So, yeah,
he acts like a little beaver already. You're like Jasper, and he just looks at you like, what?
Yeah, I know. That's it. Well, he did already in one of today's videos. I just saw him glancing over my shoulder. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Sort of staring around. God, the legend that is Jasper. What about everyone else there? How was your Christmases and your New Year's?
Another day in paradise so far.
Mine was somewhat reduced compared to what it normally would be, but luckily we are not under the same kind of draconian restrictions as many others. So it was a little bit like less festive than usual. You notice that more on New Year's Eve, actually. with fewer people out and everything, but pretty much same as usual, just with like a more of a less energetic vibe, one can say. That's kind of like the big difference, that everyone kind of knows that like this is different. It's not how it's usually is. But other than that, not that different from usual.
Yeah, well, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
not too bad.
Could be worse. Could be worse. So it was like more on New Year's Eve, because like that's when everybody goes out and have like parties and stuff, and some people had that still, but that was significantly reduced. And I don't think I've ever seen less fireworks than this year. Of course, there were still plenty fireworks, but not as much as usual, and nothing compared to from like before they banned rockets, because like 10 years ago we had like the rockets that you could like that would actually go some distance into the sky before exploding, whereas now it's mostly just like batteries and stuff that explodes just like within 100 meters of the surface. So it's not quite that elaborate light show. And speaking of light show, we got a super chat from Spider Unlimited, who sent us almost $15. Thank you so much. And he says, "Happy New Year from New York, fellas. Question for Andre. Bond 25 filmed in your country recently. Were you aware of production? What was the national vibe? Were you close?" Yes, we were aware that Bond 25 was filming. The national vibe was one of mostly indifference, other than the occasional headline here and there, because it's filming not in the capital, but kind of like out in the outskirts, where very few people are. So you have to like travel far away there. It's like the same thing when Mission Impossible was filming with Tom Cruise back in August or something. That was kind of like a bigger deal, because Tom Cruise crashed a wedding, and some of the guests there, including like some of the people that my wife worked with. That was pretty cool. But yeah, mostly indifference.
There you go.
Nice. Well, the mayor of the nation's capital over here decided to embarrass himself by our New Year's fireworks by putting the BLM symbol in. That's important in New Year's, isn't it?
Oh my God! So he did that. So he did like BLM for rocketry.
No. So it was a drone show. So we had fireworks as well as drones, and the BLM symbol was part of the drone show. And fascinating. Yeah. And then as well, you're dealing with an absolute sociopathic sore loser when he then lit up the London Eye as the flag of the EU, even though we've left.
Oh my God!
So bizarre. Yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be, non-partisan, but yeah, just very, very odd, very strange behavior. Super strange.
Yeah, that's strange. Yeah,
but as far as Bond goes, if you haven't followed our Bond coverage, we actually have done quite a bit. So you might want to check out some of that to get up to speed to everything that we've reported on it anyway. But yeah, so Cesario JPN sends in $5, says, liked the Zorro retrospective, Andre, but were you aware of Queen of Swords, a 90s syndicated TV series that was mimicking Zorro with a female lead? Now, I know you couldn't touch on a lot of stuff because it was just, there's such a vast library.
Yeah, this is like the thing stuff. That there are like close to 100 different iterations of Zorro from across the world. That specific one, no, I wasn't aware of it. And the moment that I saw it brought out in comments, I was like, I said an expression which I believe rhymes with clucking bell. Because it would have been very cool to have that in there as like preparation for for future movies to come. Because I was able to find 3 obscure female Zorros, and then I missed that one. I was like, God damn it! But yeah, hey ho. I can't get everything. But the point, though, is that it was a retrospective of The Mark of Sorrow, the 1920 feature film. And everything other than that is kind of like a bonus exploring the legacy of that movie.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to make do without the Queen of Swords.
I mean, and there were some people who brought up the 1975 Zorro. I did have a couple clips ready for that. It was just something that got the axe, I guess, in the process, I'm assuming, Andre. So
yeah, because my thinking was that, that's a fun one. But if I include that fun one, which other fun ones do I have to include?
Exactly.
Yeah. So you just have to you have to make a selection. And what I did was that I focused on Mark of Sorrow and then the direct lineage from that.
Yeah.
And the things that kept the character in the public spotlight and that brought it to a new level. Those were the things that I chose to work on. And then fun stuff, like the Del Juan Zorro, that just had to make the cutting room floor. Because if I were to include that, I'd have to include 5 more things. And then suddenly we'd be dealing with an hour-long documentary that would never be finished.
Yeah, well, like halfway through, I kind of figured out that's what you're doing, is just picking out the ones that are directly influenced by that first novel, more or less.
Yeah.
Joe Pat 87 sends in a super sticker. I don't have up here what it is. Sorry. Let's see here.
Yeah, that super. They really need to get on.
Yeah, I know. That's of all the things they've updated.
Well, they need to get 1080p.
They actually do that now, I guess. You can go in and change your through your video, I guess.
Yeah,
I can't see what the super sticker is, so
well, I shall find that out. Just give me a second. I'll find out exactly what that super sticker was.
You hear that, StreamYards?
Here. So StreamYards is good going. You've been doing very, very good updates, but there's still a ways to go. This super sticker was, was it from Siggy? Or from it was from Joe Pat, when he sent us a jumping little tomato, or ample or something like that.
Oh,
and then we also got a super sticker from Ziggy, and that one was a green thumbs up.
Ziggy's still alive?
Well, there's several of them.
Ziggy in years. The little cartoon guy. They haven't put Ziggy on anything since like the 80s.
Well, time sure flies.
I don't even know if you guys even know who that is over there.
Can't say I do. Ziggy or
Ziggy. Yeah, Ziggy.
Are you familiar with Ziggy?
Me? No idea.
Yeah, no, never heard of. Sorry, so lot. But let's try to get on with the topic of today. So we can try to do a little bit like looking back at the year that's been and what we look forward to in the year to come, with a special focus on Star Wars.
It really sucks for you guys that our main topic is Ziggy then. So I'm kidding.
I know of Ziggy Stardust, but that other.
No, Ziggy, but that's the little cartoon guy. That's Ziggy.
Yeah.
On the screen.
I feel that I probably haven't missed out on much.
No, it's pretty much like an adult Charlie Brown, even tamer. It's really dumb.
It looks like a poor man's Mr. Men.
Probably. Tonister Tree, thank you so much, sends in $5. Hope 2021 is the start of less vanity in entertainment and more integrity in story. Let's hope so. I know I'm having a hell of a time with Cobra Kai already. I can't wait to get through that, and then it's just going to be the drought between again. That's the only thing that's really crappy about them dropping all the episodes at once, because then I'm like, I want to watch them all, and then when it's done, there's nothing left to wait for.
Oh, well, of course we have The Expanse, which we'll be getting into.
Yes, I know.
But before we get into that, Mr. H, what has stood out for you this year in entertainment, for both good and bad? Let's start with the good things. What were the favorites? Is there any Star Wars or Star Trek among your favorites of the year?
Well, no, Star Trek can absolutely go away.
Now we can wait until we get to the least favorites, probably.
Yeah, no. So I did a tweet about this, and I'm trying to figure out when it was released. Let me have a look.
Which one?
So it was just tail end of last year. No, sorry, 2019. I'm getting we're not fully into the year yet, are we? So I didn't half mind. Sonic was all right. That was released this year. I'm trying to think of the actual media that I've reviewed.
Did you see Bad Boys?
The Boys was interesting. I didn't hate The Boys until it came sort of around close-ish to the end, where it started to become a little bit more apparent of their sort of narrative and I guess kind of what they were saying in the public eye about, just basically becoming partisan. But in terms of reviewing and things this year, it's been a bit crap for reviews, isn't it? What has actually come out this year? Sputnik was fantastic. I'm sure a lot of people didn't actually watch that, but that was superb. I can strongly recommend Sputnik. I wouldn't even say it's an indie movie, but it's a Russian film, like an alien creature feature. I thought that was great. That was really, really, really good. Strong recommend. And then am I right in saying, let me have a look. I think it came out this year. And if it did, it came out this year. Extraction. That came out this year. And that was a return to some sort of toxically masculine situations on film. That was that Chris Hemsworth. I don't know, like a mercenary film.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called either, but I know the one you're talking about.
I know it's called Extraction.
It's called Extraction. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And who can forget Tiger King? That came out this year. Oh my!
Oh God, yeah. Andre never finished that.
Did you not?
I know. He's like, I only got so far. I'm like, Andre, you checked out before it really goes crazy.
How?
Like it gets worse than that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
How did you?
Well, it was just like it was oversold so wildly that by the time I actually got to see it, it had been so spoiled, and my expectations had been raised to a point where the show actually couldn't deliver on them. That's like the problem with like watching something that's so hyped and everyone sees, but you see it after everyone else. I checked out about like halfway through the series.
Yeah, before it really goes crazy. Like you missed.
Yeah, probably I did. Yeah,
because you get checked
out.
Yeah,
maybe I have to follow that through.
The murder plots and all that stuff. Yeah.
Also, Underwater released this year.
That was a good one.
Someone was talking about. Yeah, I think you were Andre. I think talking about.
That was an underrated film.
It was really underrated. It was a good one.
I think The Color Out of Space officially released this year. I'm fairly certain it had some very limited screenings.
You're right. Because I didn't get it until summer, I think.
Yeah, because it was shown. I know it was shown at a film festival, but The Color Out of Space was fantastic. I watched. I don't know if it was released this year, but I watched an indie movie called. Let me have a look. Was it released this year? Oh, it was released this year. Come to Daddy. That is just bizarre, but so good. It's a little indie movie starring Elijah Wood, which that would probably put a lot of people off. But I tell you what, he's a great actor, and the choices he's done since Lord of the Rings really show kind of what direction he wants to go in. He wants to completely remove himself from Frodo Ball Baggins and become something completely new with it. That was great. That was a fantastic movie.
I always thought he was a big star because of The Good Son. I don't know what this Lord of the what.
Oh well, yeah, no, it's just this little trilogy of films. Quite small though, mate.
I know he was in Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, I mean it's not a surprise that you wouldn't know. I'm not going to lie, Peninsula released. Oh no, that's a bad one. Peninsula was garbage. I'm just going to say that now. This is the Train to Busan 2. Peninsula, what a piece of crap. Oh, that pissed me off so much. Sorry, I've got a rant about it. I'm so annoyed. Anyone in the chat who's seen Peninsula will know exactly what I'm on about. What a terrible, terrible movie. It's literally South Korean drifting children. It's just garbage. And Train to Busan is such a beautiful film. Absolutely amazing. Someone has just said no Fat Man Love. The Fat Man is amazing. That's my new Christmas movie. That's so good. I absolutely
watched
love
it
that
twice
film
already.
Oh, it's just so good. And One which a lot of guys haven't seen, but it would have been advertised to you guys in the States, was Saint Maud, it was released in the UK, and that was astounding. It's this sort of psychological horror film. It's amazing. It's so good. Really, really, really great. And another positive, I actually really like Blood of Zeus. I thought that was pretty decent. And Sweet Home came out this year, and that was great. There you go. There's my my sort of. I've been literally looking through my playlist of reviewing things. So there you go.
Yeah,
Mills and Elizabeth think you missed The Witcher. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that at all.
Was that this year? No, it wasn't. Was it?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch it. So.
No, I saw it. I saw The Witcher. I thought it was all right.
No, it didn't release this year, did it? I thought it released last year.
Yeah, but I saw it this year.
Sorry,
it released last year. Yeah, it was released in 2019. I think it might have been.
Yeah,
I think it might have been. But I certainly saw it this year. And
I'm so glad someone else, Crags, in the chat is saying Peninsula is effing terrible. It is awful. It is so bad. I no idea what they were thinking.
Yeah,
it's just atrocious. Such a terrible film.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Fat Man. I mean, I've been praising the hell out of that one for since I saw it a week ago now.
Oh, that's such a good film.
It was. It was really
Goggins as well. Doesn't he steal the show?
Yes. And it's not exactly what you'd expect either. I was trying to explain it to people. I'm like, you know what? It's basically if Quentin Tarantino decided he was going to make a Christmas movie.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is.
It has his humor to it, but it also has his, kind of. It's not as stylistic as a Tarantino movie, but it's definitely got that tongue-in-cheek kind of like, I'm going to give you a kick-ass action movie, but it's going to have a few belly laughs in it at the same time. But it's definitely not a comedy at all. So
no.
But so I love that. Of course, I loved Bill and Ted. Major Grey Wolf brought that one up. Bad Boys 3 was a surprisingly good movie earlier this year.
A lot of people like that. I still didn't get around to seeing that, to be honest.
I was never a big fan of the second one, but I loved the first one. This one retroactively helps me enjoy the second one more because it really does bring the first two films together. Yeah,
it's good when films do that. They sort of piece it together. And
I think it helped that Michael Bay wasn't directing.
Yeah,
even though he has a cameo, but yeah. Other than that, Sonic was okay. Yeah. Cobra Kai, of course, that came out today, so that doesn't technically count.
I'll tell you what a standout, New Mutants. Not for being good, for being just
bad.
What the fuck was that?
I still ain't watched it yet. I got it.
I haven't seen it, and I have no intention of seeing it. Well, that's me.
I tell you what, you watch that and you go, yeah, I know why it was delayed now. Like, seriously.
I have
it's like two movies smashed together to have like a weird baby or something like that.
Because everybody was saying, I don't know what the director was talking about. No reshoots. You can tell there's reshoots. Everybody was saying.
Oh yeah, God, so many. Did this come out this? I tell you what came out this year as well. The Hunt, ladies and gents. Do you remember
that's right. Yeah,
the film that had so much controversy and it was just satire about both the left and right. It was non-partisan, and everyone got their fanny in a flutter about it all. That was a great movie. I enjoyed that very much. And that who was the lead? What was her name? Betty Gilpin. Epic. She was great in that.
Yeah. A few people brought up Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman, of course. Both horrible freaking movies. We actually have a super chat that addressed one.
Yeah, the one. Yeah, we have a super chat about that, and the one who brought that up in a super chat, just to get into that one, since you mentioned it, was my countryman Tebios Tubak, who said Birds of Prey was a good movie, better than Wonder Woman 84. Well, I will give you one of those two. I will give you one of those. I had more fun with Birds of Prey than I did with Wonder Woman 84.
Really?
Yeah, I had much more fun because the more I thought about Wonder Woman 84, the more it annoyed me and just left me like angry because of the messaging and everything like that. Whereas Birds of Prey is like a joke that you can dismiss, whereas Wonder Woman 84 was like more sinister in a way.
I don't know. I felt the other way around. I felt completely the reverse. Yeah.
Oh wow! Look, it's me and Tom versus Andre for a change.
Yeah, that's weird.
To me, after watching Birds of Prey, it literally made me feel like shit, like sick to my stomach. Like how
I hated
the movie be made. Like
garbage. Every
man in that movie is utterly horrible. And just the way the movie plays out, if somebody put a gun to my head and I had to choose again, I'd definitely watch 84 again over Birds of Prey.
Yeah, likewise. Like the overt agenda was much higher in Birds of Prey than it was.
Yeah, it was more overt. It was more overt. Like there was agenda in Wonder Woman 84, but more subtle and different.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Well, that's taste. No, it's totally understandable, but not really. No, obviously, I'm not going to make fun of Andre for feeling that way, or for Tibios. Is that how you say it? Tibios. Tebios, or for Tebios for feeling that way as well. I mean, we all are, able to have our own opinions, and we're not going to make fun of anybody for it at all. So
yeah, but as for Birds of Prey, go back and check out our roundtable with the great Lauren Chen, who came to join us to take that movie down. That's how much we enjoyed that one. That we had the roaming millennial herself to come and join us.
I got into some knockdown, drag out fights with some people over that movie, and I'll tell you what, when that freaking article came out with the director, because everybody's like, oh no, it's not bashing men, it's not against men, blah blah blah, and then she's like, oh, this is totally an anti-male movie.
Oh,
I fucking knew it.
Exactly.
Anytime I can use that. Speaking of Walton Goggins,
yeah, he's so good. He's so good. He's
and he makes that part in Fat Man so believable. Because let's be real, folks. Like the whole idea, the whole plot, obviously is ridiculous. And once you get past the whole idea of what's ridiculous, it's that everybody in this movie sells it so well, and he is like the key to selling it so well. Because otherwise, you'd be like, this has got to be like, if they got the wrong person in this, anybody that wouldn't have taken it as seriously, it wouldn't have worked. And Walton just totally sells it.
Yeah,
absolutely. He's just so deadpan as well, especially when dealing with his phone, little shit on the phone. Just so good. Just so good.
It just makes me. I love that. It is so good. If you guys have not seen it yet, do yourselves a favor. It's definitely worth the $4. But if you haven't, it's worth like the $10 or $15 to buy it.
Oh yeah, no, I would like that's worth paying for, and it's worth supporting it, because that's a film that I am quite surprised it got made. Some of the things that go on in it, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I think that deserves your money. Like, it's a good movie. Like,
I don't think Andre's seen it yet.
No, it's on my list. Maybe I'll be able to see it tonight. Even
I would as soon as you can, man, because I want to talk about it with like. I just kind of wish we would have got to do a review before Christmas. Actually, now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do. I'll try to see it as soon as possible.
Yes, I do.
Other than the awesomeness of Walton Goggins and everything that he is in, was there any other movies that really stood out to you this year?
Besides that, I couldn't get through Tenet.
Yeah,
I tried twice. I got an hour into it so far, Andre. I still don't give a shit about what's going on.
Yeah, that movie was such a mess, and I think that they really lucked out with the whole pandemic thing, because that way they have an excuse to hide behind. They can like pretend that this would have been $1 billion movie had it not been for. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Like, this was, how like M. Night Shyamalan started believing his own hype, and then he released Lady in the Water. Tenet is Nolan's Lady in the Water.
I'm beginning to agree with you, because even his worst movies to this point, I mean, honestly, I liked all his films except for Interstellar and Dark Knight Rising. In Interstellar, I just didn't like the ending. And Dark Knight Rising, you can totally tell he lost his direction when he lost Heath Ledger. Like, that's basically my only issues with any of his films. I even like Insomniac, the one with Al Pacino and Robin Williams.
Which is actually a remake of a Norwegian movie.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, you're right.
Insomnia.
Yeah,
That's the name of the original one too.
Yeah. No, okay, same thing basically. But no, like this new movie, I'm watching it, and it's not the plot. It's not really the characters per se. Well, I mean, I guess it could be those things, but it's mostly just the way it's shot. It's pretentious as fuck. Like it just oozes the whole of like Rob likes it when I use the Family Guy clip where uh, he's like, yeah, I don't know, I don't like The Godfather. It insists upon itself, and she's like, "What do you mean it insists upon itself? It insists upon itself," and that's what this is. It insists upon itself. It's like you really, it does. It's literally the film version of sniffing your own farts. It's like you really think you're that much more fucking smarter than the audience, dude. Really. Like it's not like it's I don't get what's going on. I get what's going on. I just think it's fucking stupid.
I see. I enjoyed it. I thought it was all right.
I haven't got. If I get to the end of it and it makes more sense to me, I will give it a better review.
It won't.
Well, I thought it was all right. However, someone in the chat has said Unhinged. That film was great with Fat Russell Crowe. Awesome. Great movie. Like that one a lot. That one stands out to me because it was the first movie I watched back in theaters post UK national lockdown. And that was great. I had a good time with it. And again, I'm so surprised that movie got made. It's basically Karen the movie with road rage and murder. It's great.
See, now there's somebody just brought up his last film, the one before this, Dunkirk. I didn't mind Dunkirk.
I didn't even watch that. I can be bothered.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises.
Neither could I.
I've only seen it like twice, so give me a break.
Yeah, always twice. Well, then you make up for one of us, because then between the three of us, it's been seen 2 times by one person.
I'm always intrigued by Christopher Nolan films, right? But I have to look at the trailer and go, basically, whenever something's announced by him, I'm like, oh, I'll have a look at the trailer, like I'm intrigued by taking a look at it.
Yeah.
But that trailer, I just wasn't interested. I didn't care.
How did you not see Dark Knight Rises, Andre?
I have seen the Dark Knight.
That's the one I was talking about. I've only seen it twice. Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
I've seen Dark Knight like a dozen. Shit, I saw it in the theater like.
I thought you saw Dunkirk twice.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said too.
I only watched it once.
It
was pretty good. It's probably his most straightforward movie.
Yeah.
As far
the Dark Knight Rises, I saw once. That was in theaters, and I had no need to ever watch it again. But I will say one thing for it, because at the time of watching it, it seemed completely ridiculous. Like I didn't buy into the premise that a city and the state could be held hostage and the rest of the country wouldn't do anything about it. Then this year happened. So now the movie is strangely prophetic, and the asks that once seemed too much to ask, you now kind of like just have to accept. So yeah, it's been made better, but I still think it was the wrong movie to make.
Oh yeah, like I said, I feel like what happened was he lost his edge or his desire to make it after Heath Ledger passed, and Warner Brothers just forced it down his throat, and he came up with a half-assed idea at the last minute kind of thing. I'm sure he had a much grander idea. You can really tell he's setting,
didn't he?
Yeah, you could tell he was setting something up. I feel like the Riddler maybe was something that was coming next, because he would have been like the next logical step from Two-Face to Joker to how, the whole system was kind of working toward the Riddler's like somebody completely different. You had chaos and you had, all the other things to where he's controlled chaos, kind of thing. I would have loved to have seen Nolan's version of the Riddler. I think he could have done an excellent job with that.
I'm sure, but unfortunately, he just wanted to do a trilogy and close the movie and close the entire saga. And the end of that was that we had a Batman that spent less time in the Batsuit for his entire career as Batman than Christian Bale spent in the Batsuit filming it.
No, because I think, what happened was whatever his original plan went out the window. And like, okay, what's the most memorable moment in Batman history? Oh, when Bane breaks the bat. So let's do that. And it's like, we don't need.
It wasn't even that impressive, was it?
No, not really. It didn't capture any of the original comic at all.
Oh, it was really bad. That's
So I'll tell you
all there
another
is to
good
say
movie
about it.
though that released this year was The Gentlemen, which was a Guy Ritchie return to form. I don't know if any of you guys watched that, but that was epic. I love that film. It was great.
I have it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Mate, you're gonna really enjoy it, like genuinely.
Okay, cool.
And
Look forward
some
to
of
it.
the things he gets away with in that. Again, you just think to yourself, how? Like it just that there's an exchange that is said in it, and does anyone mind if I say it? It's not a spoiler. It's just an exchange of words, of which there's many exchanges of words. Does anyone mind?
I don't think so. Plug your ears if you mind. You got like 10 seconds.
Andre, do you mind?
Yeah, no, go for it.
So there's an exchange, right? Colin Farrell plays like an Irish boxing coach, and he's coaching a bunch of like inner city Londoners, which overrepresented by black people. And there's an exchange between one of them, one of the white inner city guys, and a black guy, and he calls him a black "see you next Tuesday," a black cunt, and basically goes, "Oh, that's racist. You can't say that." And it's the most perfect BLM takedown I've seen, which was almost prophetic, because the guy, the white guy replies, "No," or I think it's either Colin Farrell replies or the white guy replies, "No, he's not calling you that because you're black. He's calling you that because you're see you next Tuesday, and you just so happen to be black." Absolutely hilarious. Obviously, I'm not doing it that much justice.
No, but yeah,
but it was just fantastic. It's utterly hilarious, and it's a true return to form. Like because he'd been away for ages doing utter garbage, like really garbage.
Yeah, well, Aladdin for one. Aladdin for one.
Did he do Aladdin?
Yeah,
the Disney's Aladdin remake. That was him.
Oh my god! I know the last movie he did was.
Which, to be fair, that wasn't a bad. That was. I like that movie.
It was one of the
but I agree. Like
but
it seems like really weird that Guy Ritchie should be directing Aladdin. But I agree, he hasn't really made anything really good since Snatch.
I was gonna say Snatch.
Of course, Rock and Roll, of course, had its moments, but it didn't have enough of them to give us a real rock and roller.
Yeah, that
which was a shame, because Tom Hardy was fantastic in it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, The Gentleman's fantastic, and it's it's one of Guy Ritchie's best films in my views. Genuinely, it is.
All right, cool.
Getting some love in the chat. I was going to bring up Godfather 3. Had either of you two watched the recut of that came out last?
No. What?
Oh yeah. They did a recut. Francis Ford Coppola got to recut Godfather Part 3.
Was it better or worse?
It was better. I don't really. Here's the problem with it though, and I kind of joked. You must not remember, Andre. I kind of made the joke. I'm like, so Francis Ford Coppola has turned into Ridley Scott now.
Oh my god!
He basically remade his own movie, but cut it down and added one new scene. Basically, that's really all it is. Yes, it does help the movie flow better, but it's still the same movie. The only thing he did was recut it so it's more like the original Godfather. It does help, but kind of pointless in the end.
Yeah. Before we go through some of my favorite movies of the year, let's go through some more super chats, because we have a couple of them here. Tonrister Tree said, "Hope 2021 is the start of less vanity entertainment and more integrity in story." Well, we can hope. And Mills says, for 35 South African rands, thank you so much. "Just praying CBS don't renew Kurtzman's contract in 2021. They can't be that stupid. They can't be. I mean, the guys cost them so much. Like, he's their very own Kathleen Kennedy and Pablo Hidalgo rolled into one. So, yeah, I seriously hope they don't renew Kurtzman, because his brand of Star Trek we've all had enough with, I think.
Yeah, and Elvin J says that recut insists upon itself. Thank you, LJ, for the callback.
Yeah. And referring to what we said about Siggy earlier, Joe Pat 87 says, to be fair, Siggy was once animated by Richard Williams. He's got that going for him. Whereas Casperius says, from a certain point of view, Siggy looks a little bit like you, Tom.
He does.
And Grand Wazoo 42 sent us a €5 super sticker of a little kitty, so thanks so much. And Bear Business 1 says for $10, thank you so much. Andre, your voice is great to wake up to. Tom, you need to sleep. You're on so many streams. Also, you can tell Drunk 3PO he missed my super chat. Hail Gina Carano.
I'll make sure he gets a super chat letting him know that he missed your super chat. I'll be sure of it.
And Jason Gallagher sent us 5 Swiss francs saying, spent Christmas with Mr. H, most of Christmas with Tom, and last night with Ass. Haven't been able to get home, but thanks for the company. Well, I'm so glad
to hear you're not
join us all.
Able to get home. Hopefully the circumstances aren't too bad, but yeah, glad we could entertain you.
So. Absolutely.
And Gundam Warrior 1 sent us $5 with no message, so thank you for the support. Cedric Taylor 08 said for $5, is the Force mirrors like the gateway of forever, where the occupants can either change time or repair time? That is my understanding, that the Veil of the Force is the Star Wars version of the Guardian of Forever. It is my understanding that is kind of like that. But for Star Wars and such intricate lore questions, I'm the wrong guy to ask.
Yeah, what I know of it is it's actually called the World Between Worlds. It's never really referred to as the Veil of the Force in any proceedings that have come so far, but it's also under my understanding that I'm not so sure how that's going to all work, because even though the veil or the world between worlds, you can see other places and go to other places, I don't think you can affect things. That's the only thing from what I've been told. So it'll be interesting to see how they utilize it.
We'll see what happens with it. And here's a good question for all of us. Vince Manor asks, just curious, what's your opinion on Battlestar Galactica? And for the love of God, watch The Expanse. H, what's your opinion on Battlestar Galactica, both the original and the remake, and how excited are you for the second remake, which is in some stage of development?
Well, so the second remake is an interesting one to explore. Like I've done a few videos on it, because it's not actually clear cut what is going on with that yet, because they announced first. It was announced. It was either first announced that it was going to be a TV series, then they also announced the movie. Then one got sidelined, but then we've got an update on the series again, or it's the reverse of that. So that's a little bit confusing, to be perfectly honest. But apparently, I know that they said that the series isn't going to be a clear-cut remake. It's sort of going to be a continuation in tone and style. So I don't know, really. It's all. In fairness, I think it's probably in a bit of developmental hell, because lots of conflicting reports, even from the official people that are coming out and saying stuff. It just seems to be a bit all over the place. But I like Battlestar Galactica on a whole. I think it has really. I think it's one of those ones that has a lot of promise. Like a lot of promise, but we've strayed. Well, we did stray away from that sort of space opera. Could you call it a space opera? I don't know, space fantasy, whatever you want to call it. But we strayed away from that.
Space opera, yeah, maybe.
It's kind of a space opera.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see it, because we are kind of returning to it. We're returning to that as a trend. We've got the Mandalorian, although kind of space western. But yeah, I mean, I think it has potential to be. I mean, it's good. I like it, but it has the potential to be absolutely fantastic. So we'll see.
Yeah, Tom, your thoughts on Battlestar Galactica? All iterations.
I have not seen the remake, so full disclosure there. When it came out, I was really in an anti-remake phase, to where I really, but I've heard enough good things that I do plan on going back to it at some point or checking it out at some point. The original show, I do have the Blu-ray set. Vague memories from a kid. I have not been able to revisit it though. I've seen it maybe, a couple of scattered episodes or the TV movie or whatever you call it, a couple times growing up throughout the years. I liked it. I mean, I remember, of course, Beady 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 and all that kind of, but that's
You're
Buck Rogers.
no. That's
never
not
mind
Battlestar Galactica. That's
Rogers. Never
Buck
mind.
Rogers. Yeah.
That's what happens when you only get 2 hours of sleep. Battlestar Galactica. Don't remember that one nearly as much at all. That one had okay, yeah. Never mind. Yep, I got the two crossed over. I vaguely remember the original, and of course, I never saw the remake. So,
yeah. As for me, I haven't seen the whole original series. I've seen a few episodes of it, and in my opinion, it had a very, very interesting premise that wasn't where like the execution of the series didn't fulfill the potential of the premise. Whereas the remake, the first one, I thought was absolutely fantastic. It lost its way as the seasons went, and people that there was no way should be silent started to turn out to be silent and stuff. They kind of lost me a little bit. But on the whole, a fantastic remake. Like, if you have to remake something, that's how you do it. And as for like the second remake, I kind of like feel it's going to be a very tough job getting topping the 2003 version. So I honestly would have preferred them setting their sights on something else that could use the Battlestar Galactica treatment rather than a new iteration of Battlestar Galactica. That's my thoughts on that. So yeah, Battlestar Galactica is sheer awesome. And moving on with a couple of more super chats before we continue. Gundam Warrior 1 sent us another $1 super chat with no message. So again, thanks for the support. Alex Acerra says, optimism for Star Wars going forward and video game movies you want to see. H, how excited are you for Star Wars going forward? So what do you think that 2021 will bring to Star Wars?
Well, I mean, we've seen great success with Mandalorian season 2, haven't we? I would imagine. I mean, I would imagine most things that Favreau is involved in, not necessarily Filoni, but Favreau anyway, I think will be something to look forward to be honest. I mean, I'm not entirely familiar with the release schedule. What is actually releasing in
what's coming next? What's coming next is probably some animated series like The Bad Batch or something. I think it's
I'm not interested in that,
or something that I couldn't care less about. But in December, that's what we have to look forward to, you and I.
Yes,
the book of Boba Fett.
That's set to be the book of
Boba Fett,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Or Boba.
Yeah. God, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, and I have confidence in that being very good, actually. So yeah, like I mean, I think it'll be fine. Again, I'm not interested. No, they have been filming the Diego Luna thing. What was that one?
The Cassian Andor. Yeah, it's the Andor series. It's like the prequel to Rogue One.
Yeah, because they've if you watch the sizzle reel that they did of that, they revealed what looked like to be sets built outside in the UK, which were pretty impressive, to be honest, but also really surprising that they built them outside in the UK because it's garbage weather. But it indicates that they are semi-permanent, because obviously they have to withstand bad weather conditions in the UK, of which there's horrendous ones at the moment. So that'll be. I'm interested to see the direction of that one, not because I care about the character, because I don't think a lot of people care about that character.
I think no one cares.
Yeah, it's such a weird one to greenlight. It's so weird. But I'm intrigued to see the direction of which that goes in, because I think that's going to spin off into something else, or they're going to reuse the sets. I'm just intrigued by the sets. That's all.
Are you talking about the Casio keyboard series? Or
Yeah,
something?
the Casio keyboard. He's talking about Casio keyboard. Yeah.
Well, it's just happening because, yeah, I think it's more so happening probably because they had the sets, Mr. H, and it was one of the first ones they had decided to make because,
are they just reusing them then? Is that
probably just repurposing his ship and stuff, I would imagine.
No. So on the sizzle reel that they showed on that investor day, right? There is some massive sets that they've been building outside, huge sets, but they're building outside in the UK, and that's what has me intrigued. Just the fact that, I mean, they're clearly semi-permanent.
My guess is all that shit was done before they had the new stuff for Mandalorian. Because why would you build a big ass set?
But the stuff for the Mandalorian's in a different country.
No, I know, but they're building like 2 or 3 new sets of those, the virtual sets.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So I'm thinking that this is that sizzle reel, and what I'm getting at is probably stuff from like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
And other people were saying all the footage anyway is stuff from Rogue One. Behind the scenes, I don't know.
Yeah, so the behind the scenes stuff, they've framed it like it's new stuff.
Yes.
So I don't know. I could be completely wrong.
See, because like Script Doctor and a few other people pointed out to me, like, they don't think any of that's new footage.
Oh, well, that makes sense then, because I was just really intrigued. I was like, why are you building semi-permanent sets in the UK when you've got the Mandalorian, the virtual sets that they're
exactly. So now, like, either that stuff was done before the virtual sets were a thing, or
that's what I'm thinking,
or it's B-roll footage from Rogue One stuff.
But I could have sworn they were filming in the UK as well. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. But anyway, so
didn't they build that big one over there though? Isn't that where the big one's going? I think Script was saying, Andre, or
the virtual
set. Yeah, they're building.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. All right, well, never mind.
Because they're supposed to be building like another one over here, and then like another big one, I think, in the UK, if I'm not mistaken. I wish it was here, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, anyway, I'm only looking forward to the book of Boba Fett. So that's basically.
I was looking forward to Obi-Wan until we find out we get to see the rematch. That shouldn't happen. But
that's that annoys me. I've tried reasoning that in my head so much, it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
No, unless it's just a battle of wills, because they better not clash lightsabers. That's just not right.
But then that is what they said, isn't it? It's the rematch. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
dumb. And like,
it just annoys me when they
it as well. I don't understand that. Like, you've got Hayden. People are like, "Oh, we've got Hayden Christensen back to redeem." Like, people are like, "Oh, he's gonna redeem himself. He's gonna be a really good character." It's like, how is he gonna be a really good character? How is he going to redeem his acting in the prequels, right? How is he possibly going to do it? Because he needs to be scarred, brutally scarred, because we've already seen him at the end of
Rogue One.
We've already seen him basically.
Well, he means at the end of Rise of Skywalker, but yeah.
Revenge of the
Sith. That's what.
Revenge of the Sith. So we know that he's brutally scarred and looks, disgusting and gross. So how is he's not going to be? There's not going to be any emoting involved
unless they do a bunch of flashbacks to the Clone Wars or something like that, possibly.
Oh, that's gonna be how.
But even then, it still doesn't answer why they would be fighting again. Like, you can do some flashbacks, great, but what's that going to do us other than a live action Clone Wars series?
And also, as well, it's like when I last saw you, I was, but
a learner now. I'm the man. And there's people who've been trying. Yeah, you're right. There's people who have been trying to twist that into meaning something completely different.
Yeah.
And it takes, even if that's true, and I don't care how you twist it, it takes away from that final confrontation between the two of them. It's that buildup of that whole thing of they have not seen each other since this last battle. And that's the way it always has been. It's not like it's always been that way since the prequels were around. No, it's always been that way. There's never been this. There was that one time we met in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Oh, we just drifted through the same bar that one day.
Yeah. No.
We had a bar brawl, Obi-Wan and Vader
it's
a bar.
pretty clear.
In the cantina. Oh my God, that's it. That's where it, ladies and gents. It's in the cantina.
No, God, no. I hope to God. I really hope that it's just KK not knowing what the hell she's talking about.
Hopefully. She is a pleb, so maybe.
Here's like the thing though, I just can't stand it when they say like, "Oh, here's the matchup we've all been waiting," or "You've all been waiting." Like, no, we haven't. I never wanted that.
Yeah,
Who's been waiting for it?
Wasn't it you, Andre, or somebody else that said the same thing like about Batman v Superman? I never said.
Yeah,
I
that's an
wanted a Batman
example.
v Superman.
There were some people out there. I believe it was John Campia who always said stuff like, "We've all wanted to see Batman versus Superman." And I was like thinking, who's this we you're referring to?
Exactly.
Yourself and Pluto? Because
So
I don't
it's like
recall
the
anyone ever
royal we.
wanting that.
If anything, everybody wanted like a world finest team up, maybe. I don't know.
That's one thing. But who wanted to see Batman versus Superman? No one wanted that. No one.
I think most people wanted the Justice League. You know, that
Yeah.
was interesting. But I think people wanted the fully formed Justice League in the future. You know, with the space station and everything. You know, that Justice League is, you know, is an interesting. Well, I used to like the cartoon anyway. So you know,
Yeah. Well, no, and
space station's cool and stuff.
Tom Cusa, if I'm saying it right, not to jump ahead in the super chats, but this will also get us back into super chats, brings up a good point. Andor could be great. Mandalorian borrows classic Western beats, just like classic WW2 movies for inspiration, and they will be fine. Yeah, it could be okay, but the problem, the only thing that's really interests me and other people that I've talked to so far, Tom, is that the only thing that's interesting is that damn robot. Nobody cares about Casio keyboard. That's why I
agree.
Oh yeah, the smart mouth robot thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, everybody likes the robot.
The robot was cool. Very cool robot. I hope they can have him back. That's what I will be checking in for.
As far as I know, he's supposed to be in it. So
yeah. And moving on from that, Alex Acerra also said Wonder Woman 84 was and I believe it right now has like the lowest Rotten Tomato score of, I don't know if it's any decent movie, but certainly any recent DC movie.
It's
any DC movie. It's the worst rated so far across the board. IMDb
across the board, including Jonah Hex.
Oh no, for the DCEU.
Yeah, for the DCEU. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The only movie that's ever so slightly worse than it currently is Green Lantern.
And I wouldn't count that in the DCEU.
Yeah, that's not DCEU just yet, to be fair, unless it's retroactively put there by.
Well, with the Flashpoint stuff, yeah.
Or actually, that's something that's rumored to be retroactively put in there in Justice League in the Snyder Cut.
Oh, yeah. I doubt it.
So it might. So Wonder Woman 84 better hope that it's retroactively made part, because otherwise it's at the last spot right now. So yeah, good call announcing the sequel right away. That's what everyone wanted.
Kind of like Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Yeah. And Joel Blum, he asks for 20 Swedish krona. Did Andre watch Ivanhoe today? Because Ivanhoe is on Swedish TV on New Year's Day every single day since at least the 80s. And I've seen the movie there before, but I didn't see it today. Sorry, maybe next year. And Thunderstorm says, YouTube Paralyte Works Dusty Races is an independent, low-budget series similar to Band of Brothers from the German side. Good. Oh, well, that sounds interesting. Paralyte Works. Okay.
Sounds
YouTube
like
Paralyte. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's really interesting. Whenever you have like a conflict and see things from the other's point of view, I'm always a big fan of that. And Tiberius Monk says, Happy New Year to all of Midnight's Edge. Have a wonderful new year. Oh, thank you so much. And again, Happy New Year to everyone out there that's been joining us since we started and first gave out the greetings.
And Peg Raceler says, Martha, why did you say that name?
And Alex Acerra also says, for your information, Tom Rothman sounds like Tom's Frank Marshall impression.
I'd like to see that interview. If you have me on Twitter, please send it to me, because the interview I saw him on, he sounded more like Rob's impression. But because if Tom Rothman sounds anything like my Frank, I want to meet that person.
He's apparently not very nice to work with. Loads of HR complaints against him.
Right. Yeah. I don't know about that, because my Frank's fun.
And Nelson Cheretta asks, is Fat Man a real movie? Saw trailer, thought fan made. No, it's a real movie.
No, it's absolutely 100% real, and it's probably the best damn movie of the year, honestly. I'm having a hard-pressed time thinking of anything that was that good this year.
What's that, sorry?
Fat Man. They didn't think it was a real movie. They thought it was a fake trailer at first.
Yeah, I had that. I had a lot of people saying, "Oh no, is that actually real?" I was like, "Yeah, it's epic. Go watch it now."
Yeah, there you go. I'll be seeing it as soon as I can myself. And Thunderstorm says Wonder Woke tried to kill the Steve Diana love story.
It did something. It killed any momentum that
it killed something. That's for certain. And Marcus A says, "Hey guys, thoughts on Wonder Woman 84 clicks past 100 million worldwide. What do you think the final numbers will be? And great to see Mr. H on the show." All right, yeah. So Wonder Woman 84. What do you think that the final box office tally is going to be?
Well, let's just set the record straight. 100 million is not good. That's terrible.
Not for worldwide.
Comicbook.com running their mouth saying that it's doing really well is an idiot. People shunned Tenet for earning 360 odd million worldwide, right? They were like, that's terrible. 100 million is trash. That's garbage. They had a strong marketing campaign for Wonder Woman 1984. I think they released 2 trailers. They have been balls deep in the cash on that. 100 million is but a pebble in the ocean. Seriously, that's not good. So need to set the record straight on that. That's bad. That's really bad. And like I did a video on it in terms of discussing it. It has to be a loss leader. It has to be, because I can't imagine they would have earned that much money on the HBO Max subscribers either. Not anywhere near enough to say that that's been good. So yeah, I think it will, I don't know, judging by all the reviews, scrape 150 maybe. I can't imagine it's going to do that well, to be fair.
I think
go ahead, Andre.
I was about to say that I think it's a flop by any metric.
Yeah, like
just look at in China, where a local Chinese movie is kicking the ass of Wonder Woman 84 at the box office.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I did a video on that, and people are like, "Yeah, but we're in a pandemic." No, you can directly compare 2 movies in the same country going up against each other at exactly the same time. It's not because it's a pandemic. It's got nothing to do with it.
Exactly.
It's people don't want to go and watch it in that country. Yes, you could say in other countries there's a difference. Yeah, sure. But the direct comparison on China is no one wanted to watch it there. And that's the biggest market. It's bigger than the States.
Well, you brought up Tenet, and wasn't that even doing better at this point outside of the US in its release?
Yeah, it was, yeah. I mean, like I said, it took 350 or 360 million worldwide. That's that was good for a pandemic. 100 million for a pandemic, because someone in the chat said 100 million is good for a pandemic. No, it's not. 350, 360 million for the pandemic. That's good. That was really good. And I think me and you spoke about that, Andre, didn't we? Saying how that was. I could have sworn we did anyway on one of the streams or something like that.
Yeah, I think we did.
Because that was good for a pandemic. It's not good in the grand scheme of things,
but it was good for a pandemic. Given the situation, it was good. Yeah.
100 million.
It's not.
100 million. Warner Brothers are going to be pissed about that massively.
I don't think they really care as much. I think they care.
I agree with Tom there, because they turned it into a loss leader the moment they decided to put it day and date on HBO Max. The moment they did that, they wrote off the box office completely. At that moment, anything they can get, they consider a bonus.
And like what Tim Scorpion says here, what about the streaming numbers? They won't tell us, but I can tell you right now, they probably weren't very good, or the signups were not as good as they were hoping, or they wouldn't have announced Wonder Woman 3 so fast.
I think they were going to announce Wonder Woman 3 so fast anyway, but I do believe that it's probably not. But if the numbers had been amazing, or you can rest assured they would have announced that we now have so and so many.
When was she going to fucking make it? That's my question. I keep asking everybody.
She's going in Star Wars movie now, isn't she? So.
She's got Cleopatra coming. She's got a Star Wars movie she's got to get done by Christmas 2023. She ain't got no room in there for a Wonder Woman movie. It's just not possible.
Warner Brothers penchant for reshoots and meddling.
Just beyond that, I don't think she could actually fit it within her schedule. Like
Well,
that's
6 months per movie. If she's not going to be involved in the editing, yeah.
Well, you have to. Well, the thing is, Cleopatra's not going to be no simple movie. She's going to be. That's going to be a big epic film. Star Wars is Star Wars, so that's another epic. 6 months.
But also, she'd be directing it. Like, for instance, it would be like 6 months per movie if she was first assistant director. But she's the actual director. She's going to be there from pre-production till the close of post-production. That's not 6 months. That's 2 years.
And that's what I'm saying. She doesn't have 4 years in the next 2 years to get this done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, no, I agree. I don't think that a Wonder Woman 3 is going to happen. Either it's not going to happen or it's not going to happen with Patty Jenkins. And after seeing this one, I'm very happy for it to not happen with Patty Jenkins.
Well, what that means is you're right, Andre. If they turn around and say, oh, yeah, Wonder Woman 3 is happening, she's just producing it or whatever, she's not directing it, that means that the movie did piss poorly.
Yeah.
So they've gotten around that, actually, because in the announcement they only said with our real life Wonder Women returning. So they didn't say in what capacity she's returning as. So you could be onto a winner there that she's only going to be around as a producer, and that is only in name only to get people on board who like her. Yeah,
that's what I think.
No, but I'll be curious to see what their signups were in the next month or so. I will be really curious, and whatever the next movie is they push. Because honestly, Wonder Woman was probably the right movie to pull this with, but the word of mouth got around so fast on that, and putting it out in other countries first was a bad move. Because you had guys like Mr. H right away warning us that, everything you guys reported is true.
Yeah,
and it's worse than you think.
Don't just love it when you are told that it's all true. It's all horribly true.
Yeah. It's worse than you thought. You don't even get any decent 80s music, which that's one thing I've noticed a lot.
That was so disappointing.
Griping about, and it's like, how can they not? There's 3 major music owners now in the world, like Universal, Sony BMG, and Warner Brothers own all the music now. Like, how can they not have just pulled, a shit ton of 80s tunes out of their ass for that movie? Makes no sense, considering especially like in '84, Prince was huge. I think they owned Prince's catalog from that era.
They had Blue Monday remix for the
that movie. And then they had
made the whole trailer.
Yeah, and then they had the one song from Frankie Goes to Hollywood that didn't even come out for like 2 years after the movie.
Super dumb.
And then they have somebody, I can't remember who it was. He's a friend in the community. I apologize now, but he went and he recut a couple of the scenes with songs from the 80s, and even though they're still stupid and cheesy, it made it infinitely more watchable.
You know what they might have been trying to avoid with that is another Suicide Squad.
Maybe
the music saved. That was the only good thing about it, was the music. Without the music, that movie would have been a disaster, because the goodwill that came from it was because of the music. I guarantee you.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
and Aha's "Take on Me" was also one of the only songs in there, and that came out in '85. So, the anachronisms are all over the place in that movie.
Exactly.
I don't want to sit here and go down that rabbit hole, but
yeah. Moving on to next rabbit hole. Snake Shit 172. He had some thoughts on Nolan that we discussed earlier, and he says hated Interstellar's sound design. And all dialogue was given as speeches. I was ready to walk out. I did like the robots. Also loved Insomnia, which is the remake of the Norwegian movie. But and the gay rascal says, "Hit the like button. It don't bite." Yeah, that's so true. Hit the like button, everyone. If you like us getting up early in the morning to entertain you, although
and just to be clear,
it's not so early in the morning for some of us. But,
Warner may not own Prince's music anymore if they sold off, but that's the thing. They're the 3 major conglomerates that own all the music. That's why when the whole Star Wars fan film thing went down, when it got the pull down because of the music, it was Warner Chappell Music or Chappelle Music or whatever it was. That's Warner's division. They handle all of Disney's music now. If somebody else bought Prince's catalog, I don't know, but I can't believe Warner would have parted with it.
Yeah. Moving on, Plugged In says, I second the gentleman. McCartney was A+++. I also loved Guy Ritchie's dig at white guilt in one of the scenes. He just doesn't give a F, and it's glorious. Well, Mills says, for another 35 South African run, thank you so much, the Battlestar Galactica series is in the Moore universe. The movie is based on the original series. That seems like a weird decision to go back to the original series at this point, if you ask me. But best of luck to them. And the gay rascal says again, I used to find time travel and multiverses intriguing, but now it's so overdone. I constantly wonder if something is real. Nothing matters anymore. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that, because you'll be getting a lot of multiverses in the next few years. And Comrade Commissioner Yuri says, hey guy, I'm still kinda in awe that drunk 3PO interviewed Gina Carano. Yeah, he was on our show 2 days ago. That was awesome. So, congrats to him.
Yeah, that talk about a big win, a week full of win for the Phantom Menace, or for fans who are just sick and tired of being talked down to and treated like crap by the industry. We had Pablo Hidalgo go after Star Wars Theory, and then he was slapped down and told to apologize. So that finally had Disney paying attention to how these people are treating people. And then on top of it, or should I say their people are treating people. And then on top of it, Drunk 3PO got the surprise interview with Gina Carano, and that's a big win for our community, guys. I mean, that's a huge win. The fact that she didn't have to get any kind of permission or go, because you guys should, we can't get into it, but we've had to go through hoops to get a few things done ourselves. And Disney is no fun to deal with. So the fact that he was able to pull that off was amazing. And some of the things that she squashed in that too were great, where she was like, oh no, it's bullshit. Disney ain't forcing me to apologize and stuff. That was great. I haven't got a chance to watch the whole thing yet, but kudos to Drunk 3PO for that. And no matter how you feel about the whole Mandalorian, Star Wars, Disney thing, this last week was a huge win for our community. We cannot deny that.
And also kudos to Gina Carano.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I can't leave out our interview with Alan Dean Foster. That was another one that people have been bringing up quite a bit too, because that put a little egg on Disney's face. Hopefully, they do something to make all that right soon too.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Sonic Stance says, Andre, did you know that in season 2 of the 90s Zorro TV show, Adam West guest starred as a character named Dr. Wayne? And the answer is yes, I did know that.
You should watch our
go and see our Zorro retrospective, which was published yesterday, there you will even find a scene from that episode of Adam West as Dr. Wayne. So yes, quite aware of that.
He's like, I like the costume, but I think it looked better in gray and blue.
And the Festman 93 says, I want a Palpatine series funding to make a second Death Star. Spaced meets The Office. Hire me, Lucasfilm. And they could probably do worse.
It sounds ridiculous enough to work.
Yeah, and Spider Unlimited says, just throwing it out there, Jar Jar is more tolerable character to a point than Rose Tico.
Jar Jar is a
quite know about that, but
well, you do have at least a point that Jar Jar played more of a role in the actual plot of the film.
That he did. That he did. And Namco said, give me Judge Dredd versus Batman or RoboCop versus Terminator film instead. Yeah. Both of those crossovers were awesome in the comics, by the way, especially RoboCop versus Terminator. And I know you can back me up on that, Mr. H.
Yes. Yeah, I can. I think the comic crossovers are so bloody good. They need to get on that, sort the licensing out.
It's unbelievable how like the crossovers can be done so well in comics and suck so bad on the big screen. I mean, in the comics, you could even like have Transformers crossover with Mars Attacks, and it was glorious.
Alas.
Yeah. Too bad I say with the MGM deal going on, too bad MGM didn't have Terminator still. They got RoboCop though.
You're right, actually.
And I've said that before, and funny. Now, of course, now that we're on the subject, I can bring it up. We were talking about how they're putting themselves up for sale, and I'm like, shit, they'd be better off just piecing out the few IPs they have. They probably make more money selling it in that way.
Yeah.
Because the rumor going around, even though they want $5 billion, is they got like a lukewarm offer for $2 billion.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But other than that, they were supposedly at the negotiation table with Apple before. I don't know if that's the offer Apple gave them or somebody else did. So, but before the holiday came, they were at the negotiation table with Apple, as far as I know. That's what my source told me. So,
we'll see what comes out of it. Dwayne Olson sent us $10 saying Batman versus Superman is a 10-15 minute scene in a Justice League movie.
Yeah.
God, Kent, showing fear of a normal human man, Wayne. It isn't a full movie. No, it's too many movies in one. I can definitely agree with that.
Well, and Superman says it right in the movie. He's like, I could end this right now. And that's the fundamental problem you have with any BVS situation is outside of, unless you get a situation where Batman pretty much cheats and gets the upper hand, Superman could snap him like a fucking twig. So anyway, what were you saying, Mr. H? Sorry.
No, it's just like you have to nerf him. You have to nerf Superman. It's the same. It's the same with Professor X. You have to Professor X him because he's also powerful. If you notice that in any X-Men movie, he's always nerfed because he's too powerful otherwise.
Yeah, you have that problem.
I have to do something to limit, yeah. And Daryl Brewer says, "Hail guys, any validity to the rumors of a Firefly remake and your thoughts?"
I have
Mr.
been
H.
hearing rumblings. What about you, Mr. H?
Yeah, I've heard literally just the very bare bones of there's thoughts, discussions, maybe something happening, but that was about it, really. I've not heard much else.
I've heard a little bit more. I've heard a possibility of some people returning, but I've also heard the possible recasting of some other characters. But
well, the thing is, you're going to struggle with that now because Joss Whedon's got the big old boot, proverbial boot from the other show he was working on was it for HBO Max? I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
So,
that incident.
Unless he just becomes an executive producer and isn't even really
He's going to get like a symbolic. They're going to use the title. They're going to take the Firefly name, and they're kind of like going to bury that he was the original creator of it, and he's not going to get any credit on the new one other than here's some cash to shut up.
Yeah,
probably.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Otherwise, though, speaking of that situation, I don't know how far you've gotten on an editorial on the whole thing with the whole Warner business.
I can tell you exactly how far I am. Have not yet started. That's
because the whole Ray Fisher thing, like, I'm not working for DC as long as Walter Hamada's there. The balls on that kid, I tell you, he did not want to work ever again. Is he like trying to?
But he's not even a good actor.
No, I know.
So, I mean, we're not talking about Daniel Day-Lewis here, right?
Let's take this situation out of the BLM era. If this happened in any other era, right? If this happened, no way this kid would have a fucking career.
I tell you what, this guy perfectly sums up the phrase I coined on my channel, PAG. He is a PAG. Hashtag Ray Fisher is a PAG. Participation Award Generation. He wants a medal just for turning up. He's an absolute joke.
Well, I just don't know what this kid thought he was getting into. I really don't. And I'm willing to give him, like, okay, this is your first big movie besides, he had the little cameo in BBS or whatever. And I get it. Your experience was probably way different with Zack Snyder than it was with Joss Whedon. I totally get that as well. But I have a hard time seeing any of the racism that he's crying about. All I see is, like you just said, a pretentious, stuck-up little participation generation kid who thinks he should be getting all the attention and whatever he wants, and he doesn't realize he's not Ben Affleck. He's not one of these main actors who, when they have something to say, the director will listen. I'm sure Joss Whedon is just like, kid, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but I've been doing this since before you were born, and you need to just say booyah. That's all you need to do.
Just say the catchphrase of the character and fuck off.
Exactly. And evidently their investigation did not warrant getting rid of Hamada, even though he wasn't even there, from my remembrance. When
he wasn't there at the time. He had nothing. He came in later. The people that were there at the time were Johnson Berg. They were the ones that were in charge. Whereas Hamada, he wasn't even there. Or if he was there, he wasn't in the leadership position. That only came later. So I don't know quite what his beef with him is. And
he doesn't like him because he's like covered for other people, I think. Or
probably because he's been a company man. And who knows how long a future Hamada is going to have as the head of DC on film. That we don't know. He could be gone before we know it, but if he is, it won't be because of Ray Fisher.
No, but that article that interview that came out had a few little bombshells in there, I think, that are really going to stir up, and they have stirred up a few people already.
Yeah, including in AT&T, and that's kind of like why I'm saying that we'll see how long he'll be there, because he might not be fully aligned with AT&T's strategy either, and he just may have revealed that in a very public way. So we'll see how long he remains with the company.
That's why I really can't wait for your editorial on that.
Because Hamada, he's not an AT&T hire. He's a hire from the people that AT&T got rid of.
And you know who has been playing ball with AT&T? Emmerich. The other guy, the big guy over there at Warner Brothers.
Because he knows that shit. I'm on the hot seat right now, and I can be gone too unless I do every little thing that they ask and hope that they are willing to let past bygones be bygones.
Yeah, so I think it's an interesting power play of Game of Thrones going on behind the scenes.
Indeed.
I really can't wait to hear your breakdown of it if we get one soon, because there's a lot to get into there. Like, I mean, of course, there was some good stuff in the interview. We found out, for sure, pretty much it was confirmed that Michael Keaton is going to be coming back. They're going to be trying to do 4 DC movies a year. Every DC movie they make is a potential spinoff for HBO Max. Yeah, 4 movies a year.
Yep. 4.
Yep.
That's too much. I think people are fit. I'm sure there'll be people that disagree. I get it. But I just think comic book movies seem to have run their course a little bit now with both Marvel and DC. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
you know what I think that is? I think that wasn't meant for us. I think that was meant to give investors and the market and everything like that confidence that, they get it. HBO Max hasn't worked out so far, but there's going to be so much content in a few years that we're just going to stick with it. That's what I think that was. That's not meant to be taken literally by us. That is just, projecting towards investors, to everyone who's like looking at HBO Max saying, why isn't this doing better? They're like, oh, no, wait. Just look what we're planning. Look, we just announced all of this good stuff coming. That's what it is. I do not believe for a second they're actually going to make that much. But announcing that they're going to, with no titles, no directors, no filmmakers, no commitment other than saying the sentence to appease investors. That's what this is.
Yeah, and then buried in that was a little bombshell, or at least this is possibly what you're getting at, Andre. And again, I want to hear your take on this in the editorial. I can't wait. Is he stirred up a hornet's nest by saying, the Snyder Cut is basically a dead-end street in so many words.
Yeah, that is bad, because what he did right there is that there he said that, like HBO Max, they're like wasting 70-80 million cleaning up the Snyder Cut for nothing because it's a dead end, because it's not what I want to do. That right there might have shortened his tenure at the head of DC alone, because he just went out and publicly spoke out against their strategy. What he needed to say was...
I was going to say, he also publicly essentially contradicted what other people have been saying about it as well.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't do himself any favors there. And I assure you that if his position was under threat before, it's much more under threat right now. because HBO Max, when they invest 80 million into that one thing, that's because they want the Mandalorian of their own. And that means they want a season 2 of it. They don't do that just for a dead end. I mean, they have shown that they are willing to go and micromanage. And here then is someone, an incumbent who was there before, who goes out and actively speaks against their interest. That's not going to sit very well with anyone in AT&T.
No, and I think it really does show the division that we've been talking about for a while, that there's, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. They've made it obvious in some cases, but yeah. And I think you're right, Andre. I think it's going to come to the head. I don't think this guy's going to be there much longer. I really don't.
Indeed. And then we have another cool one from Patriot Productions, who says for $9.99, thank you so much, that was on set during the Wonder Woman 84 fight scene in the mall. It was my only context. It was a great experience, but my God, the film is a big letdown. Hopefully my films will be better. So yeah, do check out Patriot Productions, everyone.
Well, and that's one thing is, it's really cool to be able to experience something like that. But that was like early on, we got a few of the leaks from the Joker set that weren't 100% accurate. They were somewhat accurate, but not 100% in a sense that, like, yeah, when you're doing a scene, like, it feels like the whole movie's about that one scene. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't experience the rest of what happens, if you're just like an extra or what have you on one big scene in a movie, it's probably going to feel like the whole movie is based around that scene when it really in reality isn't. Because, like, yeah, we got a lot of talk about, they're painting Wayne as a Trump type character in Joker, which is somewhat true. And it's actually probably, honestly, he's probably the most accurately painted in that it gives him both sides of the point of view. You have, the cutthroat businessman, but you also have the guy who's not getting any cuts in the media at all. Like, the media is killing him in that movie. So, like, that was the only part that really kind of came to fruition as far as being, that character being Trumpian in any way. But no, like, all the other stuff we heard about was true. But yeah, it was all from a riot scene. So, like, that's the only kind of point of view we had.
Yeah. And here we have one for you, Mr. H. Gomer Kyle, I like that name, says, Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for getting me through 2020. Mr. H, love your Hellraiser readings and H.P. Lovecraft as well. Thanks again, y'all.
Well, thank you so much. They have been a true labor of love. I actually cut together the complete story, and I didn't. It's amazing when you do these things as a weekly series, right? Because I've been doing it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which, funnily enough, if you're still here, I hope you are, because tonight we release, and there's the brand new one, Hellraiser, The Bestiary, gets released tonight, which is part 1, because it's not over, we're continuing it. But it's amazing when you do this thing constantly, and then you step back, and I edited it all together, and I was like, oh my God, how long it is. It's 7.5 hours of Hellraiser narration, theatrical kind of dramatization thing.
That's crazy.
It is unbelievable. So they're actually on the channel now. And if anyone's interested, it's Hellraiser. I can't remember what it's so there's
Boom Comics. Yeah, so to anyone wondering, it's basically Mr. H doing the narration of the
motion comic,
Hellraiser Boom Comics that were written by Clive Barker himself, or at least credited to Clive Barker himself, which is kind of like the true continuation of the original movies, plus the comics from Epic from before, in that it has the Hadroverse and everything like that. So it's awesome stuff, and do check that out.
Well, if anyone's intrigued to see Kirsty Cotton become Pinhead, that's always interesting. So check it out. I really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad that people have enjoyed it. So thank you so much.
And Gomer is still here in the chat, and he heard it all. So yeah, awesome. Yeah, so he got it. And moving on from there, I saw in the comment that someone was checking out the Norwegian series Home for Christmas on Netflix. I actually haven't seen that myself, but let me know what you think of it. So hopefully it will be Hopefully you'll enjoy it. I think it's on its second season now. Hjem til jul, it's called here. So yeah, cool. Check that out and let me know what you thought of it. And moving on from there, Aaron C says, so Kathleen Kennedy has another director dilemma with Patty Jenkins now. Oh, the irony, isn't that? Like, that's so true. Because Patty Jenkins, she has Kathleen Kennedy, she has like this thing of hiring directors and stuff when they're hot, when they're super hot, based on like the previous thing that they did, and then they have something else that comes out, and then that kind of bombs. And then the director that she announced suddenly isn't so hot anymore. That first happened with Josh Trank, who was like a super, super hot director after Chronicle. So she nabbed him for the Boba Fett movie. And then the Fantastic Four happened. Like, it wasn't even released yet. It's just like it was leaked what kind of crap show it was on set. That incidentally was when Midnight's Edge kind of like sorted out. So go check out our true vintage videos on that. I'm very, very happy to report that Midnight's Edge was the first channel to cover the whole Trankgate thing months before anyone else did it. So yeah, good times. But of course, then it happened again with Game of Thrones, because then you have the D&D, Benioff and Weiss, that were super hot after like the first few seasons, and then they were announced for a trilogy, and then season 8 happened.
You forgot Trevorrow, even though the story,
Trevorrow,
but that's from a certain point of view. But here's the only thing: is you think that Patty Jenkins is going to get fired? I don't think so. She's of the right persuasion, and if you don't think that Warner Brothers isn't going to do everything they can to hide the fact of how much of a failure this movie is. She got a fucking, and this is what I said the other day. Warner Brothers gave Patty Jenkins the biggest Christmas gift anybody could give anybody. Because there was no fucking way Wonder Woman was going to make the money back they were hoping, even if it was a non-pandemic situation.
No way.
Because somebody brought it up in the chat way earlier when we first started talking about it, but they said, what does it need to make? Like 600? No. Try more like almost $1 billion, a cool $1 billion. Because these movies now are budgeted that way. When a movie hits over 200 some million in the budget, that means it has to make 3 times its money back. That means that Wonder Woman had to have made at least $800 million to walk away with some kind of decent profit. Just look at like BVS and Justice League as perfect examples. Those movies made no money in the theaters. And in fact, Justice League lost a shit ton of money. So yeah, there was no way this movie was going to make its money back. Even in a non-pandemic world, I guarantee you the most it would have made would have been, I think it would have limped home with a measly $500 to $600 million after word of mouth got around.
But I think what's amazing is, I mean, she really lucked out because they agreed to pay her all of the back end residuals as well. Like
that's what I mean.
That
between that and the optics of it,
it's
biggest
insane.
gift they could ever gave anybody.
Yeah. She's laughing all the way to the bank, that woman. Seriously.
Absolutely. But still, for AT&T and for Warner, that was a necessary price of business, because that way they don't have the 2 leading ladies, Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot, going out to trash them. They can deal with all the men trashing them, but it would have been very bad PR if Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot had done it. So they paid them their "don't trash us" money. So yeah, money well spent, I guess.
Indeed.
Yeah.
What do we got left for super chats?
We have a couple more left before we caught up. Curtis D of Montana says, "Happy New Year. I want to know from the 3 of you." Oh, here's a good one. What are your top 10 favorite movies of all time?
Oh, wow.
Ones you can watch over and over again. What, 10? Well, that's a tall order, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we can give you top 3.
Oof.
Mr. H has to get rolling, so why don't you give at least a handful of your go-tos real quick before you head out.
Epic.
Oh, great movie.
Scarface. One of the best movies ever. Yeah, I know. I just think it's great. I think it chronicles the perfect rise and fall of a guy trying to succeed. It's just great. I think it's amazing. I love that film. Stand by it. Yeah. Super Bad. I think it's just hilarious.
McMuffin.
Funny comedy. Hey,
is it McMuffin?
It's just it's such a great, like, just a funny, like, it's a go-to jokey comedy film for me. and Aliens or Predator
I'm
as
not
well.
surprised.
Either or.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's my 3. But you are right. I've got to go. Apologies, ladies and gents. But thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming in, Mr. H, especially in the last second. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so I was actually just editing a video, so I was like, I saw you guys go live, so I jumped in the chat. So
we do have you scheduled for Monday, so again, of course, we may see you then as well. So
absolutely,
thank you so much, man, for coming in.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all. Peace out. Have a good stream. Take care.
Take care. Do check out Mr. H's channel. I'm sure we've been getting the. I'm sure Natasha's been sharing your.
She's been putting it in the comments, and I'll be putting it in the description after the fact as well.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care, sir, and thank you so much.
Take care.
And Tom, what are some of your favorite movies?
Fuck, we're gonna be here for a while. Let's see.
Well, let's just do a couple then.
Well, of course, everybody knows I love like Ninja Turtles 1990, Gremlins. Bill and Ted was always a big one for me. RoboCop, Karate Kid, Back to the Future, Jaws. Jaws is probably my all-time favorite film. There's so many great movies that I could always watch, though. But a top 10, an actual top 10, gosh, and then I'm already forgetting things like Nightmare on Elm Street and things like that. So it's just, there's too many movies that I love so much. And Andre, we have an idea of yours already from some of your editorials and documentaries, but go ahead and let us know. I'm curious to hear.
A top 10 that I think is a separate video, but in no particular order, a couple of highlights of mine. RoboCop is not going to be in the cream of the crop list, actually.
That's in mine.
If I have to say some really those that I really stand by, that if you told me that I'm gonna go to a desolate island and I can take these movies, only so many movies with me, then these are the ones I would pick. And you may be surprised by my choices. Many of them you'll probably never have heard about. Well, of course, some you will. One of them would have been 2001: A Space Odyssey, which I consider to be one of the greatest movies ever made. And another one is Quest for Fire, which is another fantastic movie. Actually, the first movie of Ron Perlman. The Fearless Vampire Killers spring to mind. It's a parody of the Hammer horror movies. And it does what it does so much better. Kind of like how Spaceballs is better than most of Star Wars these days. Well, so it is with Fearless Vampire Killers. Just the mood, the atmosphere, the mise-en-scene, the acting. It's all fantastic. So, that's one of the greatest movies of all time. Manhunter, the very first Hannibal Lecter movie. That's a really great one. Same with the Pink Panther, the original from 1963. And going back even further, I'm a big fan of Nosferatu from 1922, the original there. And of course, I also have to mention the Nosferatu remake by Werner Herzog and Klaus Kinski.
You say it better than me anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, actually, any movie starring Klaus Kinski, directed by Werner Herzog.
Yeah, you almost got to give me a genre, because I could just throw so many out there all day long. There's so many movies that I know by heart, almost, and Superman the movie, Mark. That's probably one of the ones that I remember the first really seeing on television that really caught my attention, big time. And there's the Mel Brooks movies, the Terminator films, the first two anyway. God, there's so many great films, especially we were just talking about this yesterday, that Beverly Hills Cop is another one of my favorites. I forgot to mention. But from 1970 to 1995 is just probably the renaissance of film. And I don't know if we'll ever hit that again. Ever.
Probably we won't. It's sad, but that's what it is. But that doesn't mean that we can get other amazing stuff in the future. And we can talk a little bit about the future. I just want to get fully caught up on the remaining super chats. Drew Thompson says, I think people have had enough of fantasy in general, not just superhero movies. Well,
I
we
don't
shall
know about
see.
that.
I don't know about that, but we'll just look at the reaction to Luke Skywalker and the excitement there is for Dune. So I absolutely think there is the market for especially in this period right now. I think that that fantasy is something that's going to be very popular for people to dream them away to another world.
Well, not only that, like, I mean, people, when they bring up all the superheroes on the way on, I don't know about that either. I think it's really going to stick around for a while. I think it's going to be like the new Western. I think it may take different forms. We may not have as many big blockbuster movies or big.
No, we'll have them
movies,
on Disney Plus,
television,
HBO Max, and Netflix instead. That's the difference.
But don't think they're done yet. I mean, they may be smaller than they were before, but I think people may be a little sick of the whole Marvel quote unquote formula, even though I don't agree with some of the assessments on that. And some people are sick of the dour, dark DC verse too. So, go to the other side of that. So I can piss everybody off in the chat.
I think after Wonder Woman 84, they're going to go back to the really dark.
And then you have that too.
DC in no time flat.
I think what they need to learn is that not every superhero movie is another kind of superhero movie. And I think DC learned their lesson a little bit, especially with Shazam, Aquaman, and what was the last one they just did before?
Birds of Prey?
Not before, no, before Birds of Prey. Shazam, Aquaman, Joker.
Oh, Joker, yeah.
Between those three movies, if they kind of continue down this road of, look, every one of these is its own monster, they'll be okay. Like, you cannot treat Superman like Batman. You cannot treat the Flash like Wonder Woman. You can't, as long as you realize what Superman is and what Batman is and what the Flash, without going through all of them, as long as you understand the differences that make these characters great, you're going to do fine. That's what the early Marvel movies, at least, especially, I think, gravitated towards. Because, I mean, look at how, they do follow a somewhat formula as far as, like, the standard, Richard Donner telling a superhero story. I get that. But there's no way you can tell me Ant-Man is anyway the same film as Civil War or Winter Soldier, I mean. They're two totally different kind of films. You have a heist comedy up against a political thriller, and you have a lot of that, especially in the earlier Marvel movies. So I think that's the kind of the route they got to go. They just got to remember everything is not the same. Guardians of the Galaxy took it into a, fantasy comedy. As long as they can continue to reinvent things within and not trash what the original character is, they'll be fine.
Yeah, indeed. I also don't think that it'll be going away anytime soon.
But obviously, I don't want a light and bubbly Dread. Of course, I don't. I want a dark and gritty Dread. But that doesn't mean I want a dark and dour Superman or Spider-Man or whatever.
Exactly. And Diego Flores says, I think Hamada tried to make a power play to stir investors and put a leash on AT&T management. But as you say, it will end up burning him. Yeah, that's what I'm inclined to believe. And I'll be doing an editorial about it before long. But we shall see. Now, Tom, we are caught up with the super chats, and now I look forward to of the movies and stuff that you can think of. What are you looking forward to in this coming year, in 2021?
If it actually comes out?
If it actually comes out.
I'm looking most forward to things like Ghostbusters. Gosh. That's the only one that really sticks out right now that we haven't really gotten already. Besides that, well, you're gonna have to remind me of some stuff that's still coming.
Well, there's Dune.
Well, Dune, yeah.
That's one I'm looking forward to.
I'm kind of more. Here's the thing with Dune. I am more curious to see how the reaction to it is than I am the actual film. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense because you're not invested. And this is like the same thing with me and Star Wars. Because, I'm now invested because of The Mandalorian. But like, for instance, with The Rise of Skywalker, I'm not I have no affection for the Star Wars brand at that time. I didn't care. I have no emotional attachment with what they did with anything. So I was looking forward to the movie only to see what they would do and how people would react to it. But as for myself and for my own anticipation, I couldn't care less. So I see exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Well, one I was actually very, very excited for, if you'll recall, that I was very let down for in some ways. Yeah, I'm not looking so much forward to the new Halloween film. Sorry, Dr. Phoebes. I didn't care for the last one. I was happy to see what it did for the genre. I'm hoping that the ripple effect after, the pandemic thing calms down, we actually do get some more classic horror film, genres reinvigorated, but I did not like that film. So I'm not really looking forward to that sequel, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Wish I
I'm
was.
sure you're looking forward to Coming to America.
Yes, that's one. Thank you for reminding me about that one. I am definitely looking forward to Coming to America. That's one I've been talking about for a while. Yes. Because for those who know me, yes, I'm a big Eddie Murphy fan, and that one's what I'm definitely looking forward to. Little worried about the whole PG-13 thing. I don't know if they're sticking with that now that it's going to be coming to Amazon. And I have no idea where this random kid came from, but I'm definitely looking forward to that one for sure. I'm trying to think. There was another one or two that I just can't remember. And Culture Casino, how you doing, buddy? I could probably I could send you the link real quick, but I don't know how much longer we're going to be going here. So,
No, we'll send him a link.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer we'll go, but absolutely, the more the merrier.
Yeah, this is just a chill streamer, not really talking about any specifics. What about you, Andre? You might be able to help me remind me of what the fuck's coming out.
Well, there's Ghostbusters, as
Yeah.
you say. There's Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi that looks like a bit fun, but it's directed by Sean Levy, and I've never forgiven him for the Pink Panther.
The Suicide Squad. I totally
that's one I look forward to.
Yeah.
And then as for me, I also look forward to The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. That's one I kind of like those movies. So,
I wish I was looking forward to this one, but I don't think that's coming out till the next year because they haven't even started filming yet, Christian. It may get lucky and be out by Christmas, but we'll see. Sorry.
Yeah. And then, of course, it's the Suicide Squad that I think is going to be fun. I kind of look forward to Death on the Nile, the sequel to the Orient Express. Yeah, it's okay. It's not amazing, but it's okay. And then there's Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe reboot. So
I like G.I. Joe, but I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do.
I can't wait until Rob gets a hold of it.
Yeah, that's something that I look forward to. And then, of course, there's Mortal Kombat. I've heard.
I was looking forward to that.
I was looking forward to it before Script Doctor threw a cold bucket of water in my face right there. But yeah,
for those who don't know, the writer we're not looking forward to. No.
And then
it's kind of. I know you were talking about that one a couple times.
Yeah, and then it's Antlers, which is a horror movie that I also kind of look forward to. So that could be cool. At least I hope so. I hope that'll be good. There's and then of course on the TV front, we will be getting what's it called again? The Foundation, Isaac Asimov's Foundation on Apple TV. So I kind of look forward to that a little bit. And also on TV, Around the World in 80 Days, the BBC miniseries. I don't know how much I actually look forward to it. It's something I want to look forward to, that I hope the best for. So yeah, it's something I look forward to with anticipation. Maybe not positive anticipation, but yeah. And then of course there's Discworld. As in The Watch, which premieres, I believe, in 2 days on January 3rd.
Already?
Yeah, already.
Oh. And then Curtis D. of Montana says, Andre, have you seen the movie Mortal that came out this year? What did you think of it? I liked it. I have not seen it. Have you?
Mortal? I don't think I've seen it. I don't think I had to look it up, see what that was. It doesn't ring any bells. I don't think I've seen it.
Thanks for the recommendation, Curtis.
I'll check it out. Oh no, that one. Oh yeah, I know which one you mean. It's a Norwegian thing, or it's like a Norwegian co-production of an American that comes to Norway and he has like some lightning Thor superpowers or something. Honestly, I thought it looked so stupid that I never bothered watching it. It's directed by André Øvredal. He's the same guy who directed Troll Hunter, which is a fantastic movie. But and he also directed the autopsy of some kind of witch. I don't remember the title. So maybe I should see it. But I saw the trailer, and it's something that I could see in an American movie. But when I see like someone with superpowers and stuff like that in a Norwegian setting, then somehow like my reality sense kicks in and just like rejects. So no, I haven't seen it. Maybe I can force myself to, but it just didn't look appealing to me.
Mm-hmm. Iridium, if I'm saying that right, has a follow-up to that. Says, what movies do you dislike most for 2021, or what are we not looking forward to? Like Tom and Jerry, for instance. I
have to go and have a look at things that are coming again.
See, a lot of stuff I'm not really looking for.
Honestly, everything from Marvel, I'm not looking forward to Black Widow.
Doctor Strange, yeah,
but that's not this year.
Exactly, yeah.
What's this year is Black Widow, which I'm not looking forward to, and it's like that Immortals or something.
Yeah, and no, we also get WandaVision too.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, and
I'm looking
maybe it'll surprise. Maybe it'll surprise, but so far it's honestly something that I'm not looking forward to, and that I'm bracing myself to watch out of commitment, and I hope for the best.
Natasha's looking forward to Fast and Furious 9, or not looking forward to, one or the other. I can't remember which. Shang-Chi is another one that's supposed to be. Is that coming out this year? Or is that next year?
I think that they have it was supposed to come out this year, right? Because you had Black Widow and Immortals for last year, and then Shang-Chi was coming this year, and now all three are, I believe, on the docket for this year. I don't look forward to a single one of them. I don't look forward to any of the Marvel movies. Honestly, I don't look forward so much to Morbius, the Living Vampire, either. But I do look forward to Venom and Carnage.
Yeah, somebody brought that one up earlier. I knew you were looking forward to that one. I'm just looking at a list of things that are supposed to be coming out here.
And I saw people mention in the comments that Rare Exports is brilliant. Yes, it's a brilliant movie, but it's Finnish. It's not Norwegian.
So we're supposed to be getting... here's a rundown of a few things that people may have heard of, and then we can kind of just go through real quick. Nothing much coming up here in January, but in February we got... let's see here. Tom and Jerry, which we already brought up. Tom and Jerry has the possibility to be like Sonic, but I doubt it. Then March we got Coming to America, which I already brought up. The King's Man comes out in March.
Oh yeah, couldn't care less.
Morbius comes out in March. Or supposed to be out in March. I should preface this with supposed to be, guys, right? And then in April they got No Time to Die still scheduled.
Yeah, that's also another one that I really don't care that much about anymore.
Mm-hmm. Peter Rabbit 2.
There was a time when I cared, but that time has long since passed.
Bob's Burgers movie coming out. Mortal Kombat's April. Quiet Place 2 comes out in April. I still haven't seen the first one.
I have seen the first one, and I'm not excited for a second one. The first one was really good. I liked the first one. But the way that it ends, I thought was a really fine ending. I don't see a reason for a sequel. So, again, not looking forward to.
Yeah. Then we've got in May, supposed to be Black Widow. We've already brought that one up. Godzilla vs. Kong. That's the other one I'm kind of looking forward to. I forgot about that one. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't care less.
Yeah. Spiral comes out that month. That's the Saw sequel thingy.
Okay.
Then we've got F9, which was the one that Natasha brought up. Cruella. I think that one's going straight to Disney Plus now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Why on earth would it go straight to theaters for one thing, and why would anyone be interested for the other?
Yeah. And then June, we'll see the Conjuring sequel. I think you already brought up, or prequel, whichever it is. The Devil Made Me Do It.
That I do look forward to. I know that'll be an unpopular opinion, but I do like those movies. I like the Conjuring universe.
Yeah. Sylvester Stallone has a movie from MGM coming out called The Samaritan.
That's the one with that one could be cool.
Yeah, that one might be all right. And then Ghostbusters, of course, which we already brought up, and Venom, Let There Be Carnage, we already brought up. And then coming in July, we got Top Gun 2. I'm not really looking forward to that, but I know a lot of people are. I don't know about you, Andre.
I'm vaguely interested.
Then the Minions, another one. Then Shang-Chi. If that's still coming out then?
We'll see, because now they suddenly have like 3 movies on the docket, 3 movies to dump to Disney Plus, and can they really afford that? I wouldn't be surprised if Shang-Chi is pushed back till next year.
Yeah,
while they do the 2 that were supposed to come out last year, this year instead.
Yeah. And then we have Uncharted is scheduled to come out in July. Have they even started filming that yet?
I think they. Honestly, I don't know, and I hope it'll be cool. I hope it'll be cool for the fans. Yeah. But personally, again, I couldn't care less.
Yeah. Then we got Space Jam 2, which we've done a video on, but again, I'm only looking forward to that in the train wreck sense. Basically,
yeah, exactly. Me too. Like, I didn't even like the first one.
I do, but again, that was never mind. Yeah, I can tell it's probably not a movie that would appeal to you, possibly. Jungle Cruise comes out that month as well.
What's that?
That's the Rock movie, the Disney ride. Jungle Cruise.
Yeah. Well, that could be fun though, if they're able to do something like what they did with the original Pirates of the Caribbean. Like that, maybe hoping for much. But
I think that's what they're trying to capture.
Yeah, if they're able to capture that, that's something that could be cool. When is the Resident Evil reboot coming out? That's this year or that next year?
It's not on the list yet. We'll see here. We only got a couple months left. Now we're hitting August. August is when we'll see the Suicide Squad, most likely. That's one we already talked about. Hotel Transylvania 4, don't care, but I know some people do. Don't Breathe 2 comes out that month. Paw Patrol, the movie. There you go, Andre.
There you go. So they haven't used the nice chase just yet.
The Candyman prequel, sequel, rebootquel, whatever the hell it is anymore, has been pushed to August, evidently. And Rob will be happy that that's when Peter Jackson's Beatles documentary is also scheduled to come out. And just what everybody's been waiting for, in September, Jackass 4.
I've been waiting for that. Resident Evil. Seriously, I'll one of the best 3D experiences I ever had in cinema, and I say this ironically.
Did they have that was
Jackass 3 was in 3D.
Yeah, but is the Blu-ray in 3D though?
I don't know. Probably.
I remember. I think it came with anaglyph ones. That's why I never got it. I was like, I hate
okay, yeah. But anyway, seeing that in 3D, of course, not every single scene. Like you know which one I'm talking about that I could have done without. But other than that, I was pretty decent in 3D, and certainly that intro sequence in 3D was amazing.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find that one. I don't mind those movies; they're all right. And then that's when Resident Evil comes out. That answers your question there. Or at least it's scheduled for September.
Okay, yeah, and I kind of look a tiny little bit forward to that one too. Although I am a big fan of the first one with Mila Jovovich. I can take and leave all the other ones, but that first one, that was really good.
I liked it the first time I saw it, but then subsequently it just kind of fell off for me, so I never saw the sequels. That's when also Death in the Nile is supposed to be coming out, which you also brought up already. Boss Baby Family Business, and a My Little Pony movie. Yay, the bronies will be happy.
Oh, God. I'll see without that one.
October, we'll see Dune. Hopefully, maybe. Never know.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll get a sequel to the Addams Family cartoon, it looks like, if that's actually in production. I did not know about that. Halloween Kills, which we already brought up as well. And then November, we'll see a Clifford the Big Red Dog movie. I'm sure your kids will love that. Mission Impossible 7. Will Smith King Richard movie. That's the first I'm hearing about this. Okay.
Will Smith King Richard. What madness is this?
HBO Max movie, evidently.
Okay, pass.
Spielberg's West Side Story hits cinemas in December if there's still any left. The Spider-Verse sequel is supposed to be out then. The Matrix 4 is supposed to be out then. Sing 2 is supposed to be out then. And that pretty much rounds out the year so far. I think that's the best we could have done.
I have to say, I hope there are some surprises on Netflix and Disney Plus and stuff, the things that we haven't thought about.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty.
Because of the things right here, there really isn't a lot to look forward to.
No, not really. There was one other one here I saw. Oh, there's the Eternals comes out in November. I accidentally skipped over that.
Yeah, that's one of those I said that I couldn't care less about. And I think we missed did we? I think we might have missed a super chat.
We did miss a couple.
Yeah, Nelson Chereta said earlier, what percentage of movie theaters will be open this year? Tom, any thoughts on that?
Sorry, what was the question?
What percentage of movie theaters will be open this year?
They're at what, 30 now %?
I don't know. I will say that for anyone that's like thinking, yay, 2020 is over. Now things can go back to normal in 2020. Yeah, you keep on dreaming. I don't think that any more theaters going to be open next year than this year. So if we're at 30% now, then 40 next year maybe.
Well, the thing is, we're going to end up seeing like a lot of the chains to close. They're going to, like, Regal and AMC are probably going to go belly up.
No, I would hope so. Honestly.
And then somebody will either come in and buy them, or it's hard to say. I mean, the boutique theaters might kind of take over. Mills. No, we got we did get the super chat on Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, because Mr. H was still here when we got that one, right?
We already discussed Battlestar Galactica quite extensively. So just go back and you'll see that we covered that.
No, I'd be real surprised what's going to still be open. Probably a lot of just locally owned theaters, and you'll see an uptick in like drive-ins. Maybe Alamo Draft House will have like a bit of a or I wouldn't call it resurgence, but they'll open up a lot more locations and stuff. Perhaps you'll see a lot more of that kind of stuff, I bet. Yeah. But no, I don't think the main theaters will be that, unless they come up with something that really knocks this whole thing out real quick. I mean, but they are getting bailed out, though. That's true. I forgot about that.
Unfortunately, that's not something that taxpayer money should be spent on. So yeah, we'll see.
And we did get a few more. I don't know.
Yeah, we did
between that and Kit Kats here, but go ahead and
that's
check.
The Kit Kat is the next one that we're on, so that's perfect. Just bring that one up.
There's a bunch of icons. I got a smiley face,
some beer and popcorn, and lots of celebration. Says, even the planet Jupiter.
Exactly. It says Happy New Year.
Saturn is it?
Saturn. Yep. Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone. An American in London sends the okay, I got it now. An American in London. As long as you're not an American werewolf in London.
I was about to say, beware of werewolves.
Stay out of them all. Oh Lord. BK0271, thank you so much. Says Happy New Year. Well, thank you, and Happy New Year to you. Have you heard anything about the Flight of the Navigator remake or Last Starfighter remake sequel? No, nothing new. But I would not be surprised if Flight of the Navigator isn't something that Disney Plus is looking into as a series or a reboot. And I wouldn't be against that one as long as they did it right. It was not like it was a major, like, huge movie, or anything like that, to where I have I grew up with it. I have an attachment to it, but I'm not against a remake. Same thing for Last Starfighter. Both films have a lot of potential for remakes or sequels, and same thing goes for Navigator. You can make a sequel as far as that goes, but the former I think is just a little not well known enough for a sequel, but the latter might be. And the latter I could see as a great sequel series, especially if you can get like Lance Guest and whoever else is still alive on board. And in the day and age now with how gaming is all online and stuff, I think you could have a lot of fun with that. What do you think, Andre?
I've never seen any of them, but
you've never seen The Last Starfighter?
No.
I can understand Flight of the Navigator, but you need to see The Last Starfighter, man.
No, I'll try to watch both of them at some point.
Flight of the Navigator.
I haven't seen any of them.
You could watch that one with your kids and you'd enjoy it probably.
Okay, cool.
But Last Starfighter is like, no, that's like a must, a sci-fi must. So yeah, I can't believe you haven't seen The Last Starfighter.
No, I haven't. I mean, there are worse movies that you'd be shocked if I said I haven't seen. But we don't have to go through that right now.
But the idea of The Last Starfighter has been ripped off so many times. I'm just surprised you haven't. Curtis D. Montana, Andre, please watch Mortal. I want a Norwegian point of view on him about it. It is Norwegian lore. I think you will like it. The ending is great. Well, there you go. You have to watch
cool.
the review now.
Yeah. I'll make a point of watching that too. It's just like the trailers just put me off really badly. But I like the director. So yeah, maybe I'll be surprised. Yeah.
All right. Next, we have one from the Grand Inquisitor. Hello. Can't wait for the Charlemagne biopic with Michael B. Jordan in the titular role. I didn't know that was a thing. I hope you're just being funny. I don't know. Who wants that?
I'm sure there's some. Michael B. Jordan, for one.
Look, they did a movie about Ziggy Stardust, about David Bowie inventing Ziggy Stardust, and it was like one of the lowest level biopic movies I've ever seen. I can't imagine that this would be anything. Why? What? Okay, I hope you're just kidding. We'll move on. But thank you for the super chat. Taker 610. Star Wars, how Sheev got his group back.
That's an animated special that I would love to see.
I lost it somewhere. It's here somewhere, I know. I just gotta find it. It's just like my keys. I keep losing my keys and my groove.
That's all.
Yeah.
Charlemagne is the father of Euro. Well,
here's don't confuse the real Charlemagne with Charlemagne Dog Gods, the DJ.
That's what I would be doing. Yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind Michael B. Jordan for that.
That's a little different.
The real proper Charlemagne, I'd give that one a pass.
I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking the musical one. Greetings, Starfighter. Yes, you need to see The Last Starfighter. That's what Fat Steven Skull is trying to say. The Zuramata. Great movie, though, if you haven't seen it. I
have to see Fat Santa first.
Yes, you need to see Fan Santa first. I should almost make Rob watch that, too. And then we can get Mr. H and we can do a review. Concentration camp in Brisbane, Australia. Well, that sounds inviting. Happy New Year. Cobra Kai Season 3 is now available on Netflix. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, you have like 2 episodes to go.
2 episodes to go.
Yeah.
It's like if I don't go and get some sleep now, I'm going to be dead. Diego Flores sends in 5 Peruvian souls. Thank you so much. Andre, have you thought about a Q&A stream in the future? Something dedicated to each ME team.
We can do that when we hit 200,000.
Yeah, we've done it in the past. But
help us there, and we'll get to it faster.
Yeah, and we got Yellowflash in the chat. Hail, brother, how you doing? We're going to be wrapping up here soon. I can send you the link if you want to hop in and say hi. But yeah, Tom doesn't get sarcasm. I am sarcasm. Sometimes I'm not sure. Mill sends in another super chat here. Says, you missed the last one. The movie of BSG is based on TOS.
No, we got that one too. Got that one too. Yeah,
he must have stepped out when.
Yeah. The series is more universal. Also without remorse is coming to Amazon in 2021. Michael B. Jordan. Okay, good for him. But yeah, no, that's we did actually bring up that super chat too. That surprised me that they would go back to the original series for the upcoming movie. That sounds like a weird decision, because I don't know how many will remember that after the extremely successful sci-fi remake.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know we did talk about it earlier. So let's see here. I know we had a couple more come in here. At least one. There it is. Another greetings, Starfighter. Death Blossom is ready.
Yeah, I take the hint.
I think he just paid you enough to watch it.
Yeah.
Eskimono Phono says hello. Well, hello, Eskimono Phono, and Happy New Year to you. So glad to see you in the chat. And like that, Yellowflash is here in a flash. Hello, sir.
Got me on a good time.
Greetings and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, yes.
How's everything going?
I'm only a couple hours into the new year, and so far so good. How about you?
I just finished up my videos for the day. I'm about to watch Cobra Kai, actually.
Oh,
yeah, I gotta watch it.
Very nice.
So
yeah,
so
you
far.
and Tom both. Me, I'll watch it when I get around to it. But I'm gonna watch Fat Man first, I think.
Yeah, you'll enjoy
Fat Man. I hear it's good.
Yeah, everyone keeps on saying that, including Tom and Mr. H, who was here earlier. So, and it has my favorite actor living today. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. Taker 610 says EFAP got their Wonder Woman stream taken down by WB twice. I'm not surprised, and now with that new bill being signed in, I'm kind of scared in the future of what we're going to be able to do.
Yeah, that's really scary. But wasn't it blocked? Aren't the GOP trying to block it, the whole thing, and want that to possibly go out the window?
He signed it though, so I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how that stuff works.
You would win on fair use based on some
good,
of that.
but like
unless if they end fair use, like what kind of defense is fair use on YouTube today?
I was watching some of that EFAP stream. They were barely showing any of it, and they were stopping it constantly and talking over it. The big people that are going to get wrecked by this are these people that will just upload like music albums on YouTube and have nothing on there. Those people are in a lot of trouble.
Well, I think it has more to do with the video aspect, but yeah, like the people that are uploading complete episodes or movies and stuff like that. Yeah. No, I agree with you guys, but again, I also see what Andre's saying, and that's what I'm scared of. Is I see the side of it where it's an uphill battle for us to argue fair use. This is just going to make it that much harder.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but I don't think it's all doomsday, like doom and gloom.
I'm not.
It's going to get a little harder, but
it just scares me is some of the harsher sentences they're trying to tack onto it. That's what bothers me.
The felony thing is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the part that bothers me. It's like you're stretching it to a point like it's crazy, because otherwise then it's going to get to a point where we basically a bunch of us are going to have to get together in like a civil suit of some kind or something, or some big YouTuber is going to have to, go to court over it, or something's going to happen to make it come to a head. But no, I'm actually more worried about this than I am COPPA, and I'm still waiting for my apologies from people from that situation, because I told everybody that wasn't going to be a problem for us. But this I'm kind of scared of. So hopefully my fears are unfounded, but we'll see. Eskimono Phono says, May 2021, F us less than 2020. Happy New Year, gents.
You know what? That's the best New Year greeting I've seen so far. The most realistic one. I appreciate that. My applause.
No, everybody who got to New Year's early last night, I'm like, you lucky bastard. You got out of 2020 alive. And hopefully Az wasn't too drunk to remember his T-shirt, or I'm going to steal it. Because I said you need to make a T-shirt that says, my Az made it out of 2020 alive. Then I said, put your logo as the 2 zeros. And he's like, oh, that's fucking brilliant. He'll probably forget it. He was so fucking pissed drunk, man. He drank like 2 big bottles of booze.
Did you see that New York mayor's office puts a Happy New Year, and it's him and like some woman dancing in empty Times Square?
Yeah,
motherfucker shut it down for himself.
Yeah, that's why it all got shut down, so that they can dance. They could literally go out dancing while the rest of people are dying inside.
That's such a joke.
Nice leadership. Nice leadership.
I think we found a better blurb for Wonder Woman 84 than my clusterfuck of stupid. Graham Sarden says Wonder Woman 84 is like a sequel prequel to the Feed Ghostbusters. There you go. Oh shit! And Birds of Prey is definitely on the. It makes it a trilogy.
Birds of Prey, one of the top grossing comic book movies of 2020.
Top grossing comic book movie of 2020, sir.
Oh, well, Sonic kind of technically can be a comic.
That certainly was the superior movie. Let there be no doubt about that. Because that's it's kind of like sad, but thinking back, Sonic it's not the last movie I saw in theaters, but it's the last movie I saw in theaters and that I enjoyed It's the second last movie I saw in theaters. The last one was Tenet, and that I did not enjoy.
I didn't see Tenet. I saw Sonic. That was the last movie I saw in theaters. Period.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy
Happy
it? I thought you did.
memories.
Yeah, I like Sonic. It was fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't a masterpiece or anything, but it was a good time.
Yeah, that's what
Exactly. That's all
Yeah.
you can ask for a movie like Sonic.
Right?
It's like, if you look at the early trailers and stuff, it's being a good time. It's better than it had any right to be.
Well, not only that, you had a mixed race couple that wasn't, they weren't grandstanding on it. And not only that, it wasn't a white man bad movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it had all the things going for it. It was a good movie for kids. Had a lot of laughs for adults. Jim Carrey chewed up the fucking scenery like you wouldn't believe. So if you're a fan,
best possible way.
yeah, if you're a fan of '90s Jim Carrey, they let him go loose in this thing.
It's funny how narratives change. Like with these outlets, you have a movie like Sonic, and it's like you said, it had a mixed race couple, and there's not any outlet. Like imagine if that movie had been poorly received, they'd been calling everyone bigots. Oh, it bombed because of that. Like no one wanted to go see it because of that couple.
No, you're probably right about that, Yellowflash. I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised.
for sure they would have. For sure. It's the same thing with Ray from Rise of Sky from the sequel trilogy. Oh, you just don't like these movies because you're a sexist.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about, I can say this much about Cobra Kai season 3 without giving away any spoilers. There is a few great moments where they have some nice jabs at fucking SJW culture, man, and woke culture. It is brilliant because a lot of people were worried like, oh, this third season is going to go completely fucking woke. Nope.
Well, it's funny if you go by the check boxes that they all have, that shows woke as hell.
It is, but it isn't. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying like it does like all the diversity stuff, but it does it right. Like all the characters have good growth. The story's great. Like it just hits everything. Like it's exactly what people want. It's a good story.
It's progressive. It's not woke. I think that's a better word for it.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it does things that everybody else wants to do, and it does it right.
Oh God! And this third, I don't want to say anything because this third season has been better than I thought it could be. Eskimono Phono, thank you so much again for another super chat. Says, I'd like to thank the government for my $600 in gun money. Yeah, that worthless, piddly fucking. Oh man, yeah.
It's not even my business, but like just observing it from the outside, don't even get me started on
I'm with Razorfist. You might as well just keep it and just don't tax me at next year. Just fucking.
Yeah, exactly. That would be much better because for those $600, oh, you're gonna pay that back 100-fold in taxation.
Tell me about it. I don't want to get into politics and all that stuff, but yeah, it's a fucking insult. I mean, it's bad enough my dad is a diehard Democrat, and he actually gave Trump credit for coming out and calling bullshit on that bill.
Too bad he signed it.
I can't believe that bill.
I know.
Well, actually, I can believe it because they've done so many omnibus bills, but it's just such a joke. I'm still like 500 billion for Israel's missile defense dome. The hell does that have to do with COVID?
Oh no, the 10 million for Pakistan, that's a real doozy.
Yeah, but that ain't got nothing on 500 billion.
In terms of numbers, but just like symbolics, that's teaching intersectionalism for $10 million in Pakistan. Pakistan could absolutely use $10 million, but not earmarked for that particular end. They have far more important things to spend $10 million on.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to get into it. And yes, Taker610 says, I call it my stimulus check. Yeah.
My stimulus. Yeah, indeed.
Exactly what on the less part. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So yeah, I hope it gets. I sincerely hope that gets blocked.
You may be right, Mac, but at the same time, no. Here's the thing. You got to look at it this way. He knows the odds of him sticking around are slim to none at this point. What would he have to gain by going out there and calling bullshit on all this and saying that, the rightful thing? You want to make a difference, give people $2,000. And that's what I said. I think it was, I can't remember which stream it was on, but I said, you know what? They cut out the 500 million that Yellow was just talking about, the other gender studies and all this other crap that we were talking about, they could easily give most Americans $5,000 right now, and that would make a difference.
That's what they should do instead
Exactly.
of, because what it is right now, it's a bill that gives some breadcrumbs to the people, and everything else is a massive bailout for loads of things that under no circumstance should get any kind of bailout, or funding that they never should get in the first place either. So it's completely ridiculous. So it's like, so that what you actually end up getting is it's breadcrumbs that you're going to have to end up paying 100-fold over the next few years.
It's bullshit that Hollywood's getting a bailout, but the American people aren't. I'm sorry. I will say that much. I don't consider $600 check a fucking bailout.
No. My God, no. It's an insult.
That won't even pay my rent. It won't pay most Americans' rent.
2 weeks of food for a family. That's it. Can't even pay rent. And
they call it a bailout as if, this is like a one-time fee that's going to make everything good.
And I think
true. What else? Monofono says right there.
Yeah,
they gave illegals $1,000 or something.
Yeah, fuck that noise. I'm sorry,
man. I don't know how people aren't just in the streets on this stuff. I don't get it.
I don't either.
Like we've learned in 2020 is people will just roll over. That's what we've learned in 2020.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But
and I see most of you agree, and I don't want to get too far deep into the trenches.
No, that's a rabbit hole we do not want to get into.
But I appreciate your guys' patience, and I don't see anybody griping at us, so I appreciate that. So
I think the sentiment is pretty universal. And I don't even want to get to it, but no one should be happy with it. And if someone wants, well, let's just move on.
I wish I could tell them to shove it up their ass. I'll be 100% honest with you. I really do. I really do. But anyway.
Yeah. It would be simply better not to accept it. But Yellowflash, so what's going on with you? What are you looking forward to in this next year?
Besides your stimulus.
If it's entertainment, I'm really looking forward to Godzilla versus King Kong.
Andre wasn't, but I brought that one up. I'm looking forward to it. Now, there's a versus movie I want to fucking see. We were talking about versus movies that we didn't need, like Batman v Superman earlier. There's a damn versus movie we need. Godzilla versus Kong, despite what Andre says.
Absolutely. I wouldn't begrudge it to you. I don't care about it for me. The same as with like My Little Pony movie. I don't care about it for me, but for those of you out there who look forward to it, awesome. I hope you enjoy it. I wouldn't begrudge you it.
Dune, I think looks pretty cool. Tom's movie, The Batman, I think looks really great. Looking forward to that one.
They'd have been better off having me play Batman in that movie, right?
Oh, you're just a hater.
I don't know. He might do okay. I will give him this. In the few minutes I've seen him in Tenet so far, I guess he can do a British accent, and he looks bigger now than I remember him. I will give him that. Like on screen, compared him side by side with Denzel's kid, I'm like, all right, he's a little bit bigger in stature than I recall.
Yeah.
But
to me, though, that was never the issue. The issue,
to me, it was at first. I couldn't buy that little pussy beating anybody up. Sorry.
Yeah, but basically, just consider like Michael Keaton. Like, how big was he? That's what Tim Burton said. But if he was crazy, he would.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. He was nuts. I wouldn't fuck with Keaton. I don't care how. That's what Keaton sold it on, was that he's just nuts. He's crazy. You don't know what he'll do. That's the whole thing. Like, it's not so much that he's a physical threat. It's that he might kill you. Like, that's what that opening scene is about with Batman, is like, he could have dropped that dude, like, right now and it'd been over. That's what makes him scary.
I love those movies. This is why I'm excited for the Flash movie, and I hate Ezra Miller. I can't stand Ezra Miller, but I'm just looking forward to seeing him again.
But to be clear, I do hope the Batman is good. I don't ever, ever, ever hope for a bad movie. Like, that's the one misconception I think every one of throws on us YouTubers is. I'm sure there's a few out there who like relish it, but no, I would rather go in and be pleasantly surprised by a movie than to be let down. Like, I would have loved Wonder Woman 84 to be some cheesy fun, but it wasn't. It could have been. you know. And Eskimo Phono says, I blame Dark Fate. I think that was referring to something before, but no, that's a perfect example of what I don't want out of my movies. I don't want to walk in the first few minutes and feel fucking depressed because they killed, you know, a character that we cared about for the last 30 fucking years. I mean, and same thing goes for Star Wars. I don't want to walk in and see a character I've cared about for 40 years. Why? I don't want to see that shit. Give me something like Cobra Kai. Give me something I can get jazzed about, something that I want to get invested in. You know, Mandalorian, even as mediocre as it is, I'm still at least more invested in that than I have in anything out of Star Wars so far that Disney has given us. So
I agree completely. I also go in wanting to like I wanted to like Wonder Woman 84, and I want to like everything, but sometimes that just isn't possible when the end result or when what is on screen is so unbelievably bad. That certainly was the case with like Terminator Dark Fate. I like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I wanted his one song on the Terminator to be a good one, not to have him utterly humiliated on screen. In a pure propaganda movie. So, yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand why people would think we get any kind of schadenfreude out of it or anything like that when we see these things. We don't. We really don't.
Well, the only thing I get
Terminator.
Yeah, only thing I get is when they have done something that's obviously going to be really bad and backfire badly, and it does. I won't deny that sometimes I feel like, yeah, that was well earned. But at the same time, they might completely destroy a brand that I like in the process. And then it's like, yeah, it's not worth it.
And then Eskimo Phono says, Batman Returns mistletoe kits made me a man. Sorry, TMI. Well, that's one way of getting around, you know. Hey, there's a rule, you know. Mistletoe, you know. That's one way of doing it. Hey, if it works for you, Eskimo Phono, then it works for you. That's all that matters, right?
Do you guys have, I want to ask you, I have there's two accounts that always comment on my videos. One's the Daily Bugle and the other's J. Jonah Jameson. And they reply in character. To every one of my and they're so hilarious. Do you guys have this guy? No, Mecha Random does.
We have similars, but I've never seen that one specifically. No.
So he's blaming Spider-Man for whatever the problem is in my video.
Spider-Man's a menace.
It's really funny. I got a notification. He commented.
You know, I like that you brought that up though, because yeah, we don't get to talk about this too often, but you guys make a lot of this worthwhile. Like you guys listening, the funny stuff you guys say in the chats, the comments, it really does sometimes make it all worthwhile because
absolutely,
just the smiles and the laughs you guys give us is great.
Indeed.
But he never. Anytime I do a video about Spider-Man, he never comments.
See, now you're being called out.
I did a video yesterday on the new suit, which is god awful, and he didn't comment on the video.
Oh my god, that thing!
I thought he was gonna call me a propagandist for Spider-Man and stuff, and he never commented.
That's almost as disappointing in that new suit, and that's what I'm like thinking that because that's in the comics, right?
Yeah.
And that makes me like wonder: do they really want to cancel their own industry? Are they trying to like end their own sales once and for all? Just like end it and be done with it? Because that's what it looks like. Who the hell came up with that design, and what's the reason behind that?
And why
they're trying to stir up fans? I mean, us talking about how it sucks is exactly what they want, to be honest.
You're probably right because they don't get any other attention. You are probably right on that. Eskimo Phono says he's not looking forward to the new Doctor Who episode. I'm supposed to watch that for Friday Night Tights, I think, but I'm not sure. Are you guys Doctor Who fans at all? I know you're not a huge fan, Andre, but
no,
not a huge fan. How about this? I have never seen an episode of Doctor Who.
I didn't know about Yellowflash. But
I've seen like half of one episode. I just didn't get into it.
I'll tell you, I haven't watched it since I was a kid. But when I was on Az's show yesterday, he was showing comparing clips from the new show to classic ones, and it's like, damn! After watching that clip show, I really want to watch the old Doctor Who. Not so much the new one, but definitely want to watch the older Doctor Who because it really was kind of
him and Gary kind of been getting me like more curious about it. But man, when would I have the time to roll through all that stuff?
I know that's the only problem is the entry point. It's so many years.
No, you do. I can actually. I've done some research on on a Doctor Who video that never happened. Where you want to start is with what's his face, the guy who was in Blackadder as well, like the best Doctor, the crazy one, the one with the
I know the one
massively
you're
long scarf. You want to do like his first storyline and some select storylines from his run. That's what you want to see, because he was the best Doctor. In the chat, help me out. Tom Baker, yeah, Kevin Street says it. Tom Baker,
Yeah.
Glory, yeah. That's what you want to see apparently.
Yeah, I've been told similar things. Like when I had a video store, I had a guy who brought in a bunch of bootleg DVDs to me. He's like, "Here you go."
And like
start
when he
here.
went back in time to like the origin of the Daleks and stuff, that apparently was incredible.
And yeah, I think that's where what he gave me, and I probably have those DVDs somewhere. I'd have to dig them up. Nin Pao Bob, if I'm saying that right, says, "You guys seen the first Godzilla versus Kong or older Godzilla movies? I love the old ones." I do. I'm a big fan, and I have. Yes, I don't know about Andre so much, but
Actually, I have. You know where I saw it? That was my first seeing Godzilla thing was actually seeing that one. And I've told you that these movies, they're not available in Norway, so we didn't have them when most people's first meeting with Godzilla in my homeland was the 1997 movie.
Yeah.
That was the first time people
98,
saw Godzilla in Norway, most people. But by then, I had actually seen King Kong versus Godzilla, and I saw that, of all places, in America. The first time I was in America was in the summer of 1995. And then we were in Virginia Beach, and we at our hotel, we had HBO. And there they showed one day King Kong versus Godzilla. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I like the old Godzillas. They're fun.
It's not something that I would be able to sit through today. But yeah, it was fun at the time in 1995, and I've tried to watch some of the other Godzillas, and I just can't. Like, I was able to suffer through the first one, but I any of the others, like, I just can't get past the man in the suit. But that's me.
But I'm sure, like you, Yellowflash, you probably grew up with him like me on like TBS and all that kind of stuff late night. Yeah, they're fun. I mean, but I can totally understand somebody not being able to get into the older ones now. So, but yeah, Criterion actually did a really great set of the older ones. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, if you find it on sale, it's definitely worth it. Waiting for Nerdrotic says, "Happy New Year." Well, Happy New Year to you, Waiting for Nerdrotic.
Name.
I know, right? So I'm saying some of these are just golden. And then Eskimono Phono comes in again with, "Don't bother, the canon is completely bungled." I think talking about Doctor Who. I think that's when that one came in. Probably no. Yeah. I don't know if they can fix that. But then again, if you ignore the new ones, I guess then it's no reason to think it's broken, huh? So there you go. Taker 610 says, "Peter Cushing did 2 Doctor Who movies in the 60s. Yes, I did know that actually, and I think they just recently came out on Blu-ray as well, if I'm not mistaken."
Oh, that's cool. It's just such a shame that like most of the, or not most, but many of the early Doctor Who seasons were taped over. That's like why you have the Doctor Who audio dramas to like rethread those stories that were filmed and that have since been lost, which is so. And not only that, what I can't get over is that there actually was Isaac Asimov's Caves of Steel was filmed, it was broadcast on BBC, and it's lost to history. Doesn't exist. Other than a couple of one clip here and one clip there, the rest is lost because they taped it over. Can you believe that?
Yeah. And I wasn't chuckling at what you were saying, Andre. I was chuckling at the super chat here from Rob Alice. Wait, Tom had a video store? Next, you'll be telling us Gary had a comic book store. That's something that's mentioned way too often. And I apologize. We had another one here. Where'd it go? Darn. I thought we had another one.
Did we?
That's it.
Yeah, no, I think that's it, and I think we are fully caught up since you went through
Somebody
them all.
said Jeremy was in the chat, but I don't see him.
No, I believe that was Indiana Jeremy.
Oh,
Could that be the one? Yeah.
That's Jeremy of the Jer Army.
Yeah.
but I don't see Geeks
It's
and Gamers.
this Jeremy said the BBC junked their archives, not just Doctor Who, but other stuff, including Beatles performances. Yeah, and Games of Steel. Don't remind Rob of them.
Or
There's so many great shows that the studios have messed up. I don't know, you guys probably aren't into anime too much, but I know you've heard of like Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah,
Everyone's heard of that. When they put away their tapes, they actually put the sound file on the same frame as the video, and the audio is forever screwed.
I heard something about that. And there's similar. Here's the thing: it's not just regulated to the BBC. Like we've told the story a few times about how I think it was Hallmark when they bought the He-Man Masters Universe Filmation series. They fucking destroyed the Masters.
Yeah,
I was like, what were you thinking? They took the original series, She-Ra and He-Man. They ported them over to digital in 480p, and then they got rid of the Masters, which were in film. So we could have had HD pristine fucking it just breaks my.
They never had any idea that they would be putting these on, digital platforms, VHS, DVD tape.
No, at the time, DVD was as good as it was. So they figured, no, DVD, that's as good as it gets right now. So we're just going to render them to DVD, and then we have the DVD files, and then we scrap the rest. And so now we're stuck with 2 generations of Go as far as definition is concerned. Whereas, as Tom says, we could have 1080p, maybe even 4K versions of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and the original She-Ra. As it is, the best you're going to get is the original release of those things by, I forgot the name of the company.
Universal,
the original release.
Yeah.
That's as highest quality as you're ever going to get.
And then Universal fucked up the new ports, I guess, too.
That's why I said the original release.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original version that's long since out of print that came in like 2005, 2006. That's the definitive version. And
you have
there will
stuff
never
like
be a better.
Just dumb decisions like Deep Space Nine doing everything in what did they do? What was it, just 480p effects they did?
Yeah, you have. Well, see, the upside of that is if you're lucky enough that if the original effects were saved, if somebody puts the money and time into it, they can be up converted or redone at least in a way that isn't as jarring, because that's kind of what they did with some other things. But yeah, if they don't, here's one problem they run into is if the effects are on a program that they can no longer open up. That's a problem they ran into. It's kind of sad. It's like they can't find the right patches to get them to open up on modern computers.
Yeah, that's actually something that makes the original Independence Day so incredibly stupid. That an Apple computer that was used to create the virus that hacked the alien software. Well, if you try to open a program made on those Apple computers today from the same freaking company, like 30 years later, you couldn't freaking open them. You don't have the patch for it. You couldn't do it.
Yep, and just like Geek Time says here, this is why we've only had a DVD edition of the director's cut of the motion picture, is because at the time, for some reason, they only rendered the new effects in standard edition, and they will not do it in HD probably, or at least if they have, they're going to have to give it an overhaul if they do. Because those.
Well, the beauty though is that there is a fan preservation that has done it in full HD, that has kind of like reconstructed the the director's cut of it. So that's something that can be surfsharked out there on the interwebs.
But we don't condone it or advise it. But if you do it, you should use some protection.
Yeah. That protection should be Surfshark.
Yes.
I just really want the Genesis trilogy and Undiscovered Country in 4K. Those are what I want.
Yeah.
The only one that's in 4K is Wrath of Khan, right?
Yeah, and that's only digitally, unfortunately.
Man.
It's got HDR, but it's still, the quality wise is just.
Can we at least get that on 4K disc then?
Nope. For some reason, I don't know why, Paramount has not released it. They may be waiting to do some big box set someday, but honestly, until Paramount Plus gets ready and they actually upgrade it to do 4K, I don't see them having any.
They're just gonna pump out the old ones with DNR again.
If they redo them, no.
They
If they
look
redo
terrible.
them, well, if they redo them, they'll go back to the original masters. Paramount's been one of the ones that are very slow to the 4K table, and 90% of their 4K titles all go to digital. Like they'll release a Blu-ray, but they won't release the 4K Blu-ray. But you can go get the digital version in 4K, which is dumb.
No thanks.
Yeah, so like they're very selective. But if there's any movies that will eventually get a 4K release, it's definitely going to be Star Trek. Just when? And it's going to be an expensive endeavor. Like, because what did Robert say that usually costs per movie to do a 4K scan, Andre? What, like?
I don't remember the amount,
It's
but
a couple $1 million. I know that.
Yeah, it's an investment for sure.
Yeah, so like to do all those films to go back to, and plus then they got to go back and find all the original negatives because I don't think they've actually gone back to the original negatives. Most of the
Probably
Blu-rays
not.
and DVDs we have right now are done from answer prints. So unless they actually specifically say they've gone back to the original negative, that's probably what it is. And they probably have not touched those since, well, they probably touched them for that director's cut, to be honest, but they probably only scanned them not even at 2K res. That's the other problem. Like a lot of these studios, like MGM found themselves in that kind of a place. They don't have the money to upgrade most of their fucking catalog because they went and did it already in 480p. And then they realized, oh shit, this ain't enough. So they've been releasing a lot of like 2K up converts to 4K. I've noticed. I've been pissed about that, but yeah, I hope somebody buys MGM's catalog and actually gives it a good overhaul. And that's if they can find half the fucking negatives. I've heard some rumors that some of the negatives are lost. Like the only MGM movies that have gotten any 4K treatment, I think, are like RoboCop, from my recollection, outside of the Bond movies. So they're some of them are due, definitely.
Does RoboCop actually look good in 4K? They give it a good.
I haven't seen the true 4K. I've only seen the Blu-ray version of it. The Blu-ray looks good. The new Blu-ray that came out from, I think Arrow did it, if I'm not mistaken. But that's how
Go ahead. I have the Terminator 2 4K, and it's like really meh.
Oh, that was one they fucked up completely. I don't even know how Cameron signed off on that thing. That thing is a mustard mess from what I've heard. And I haven't seen the 4K, but I've seen the 3D version that comes from that 4K render, and it's nasty. Everything looks like plastic.
I hate that waxy look. That's how all the Star Trek Blu-rays except for Wrath of Khan look like.
Pretty much
waxy look.
No, the 4K scan of Wrath of Khan looks pretty good, but other than that, yeah, the rest of them look like junk. So,
yeah, that's like the irony that those DVDs, many of them are at least for their time better.
Eskimo Phono wants to know how Lord of the Rings is in 4K. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I've watched some of it. Now, that's one that's unfortunately where the effects were stuck in 2K. I don't know why Warner's didn't pony up the money to redo them. But the upconvert job they did was pretty good. But now the rest of the movie, which anything that's doesn't have any computer animation in it, looks beautiful. Which surprisingly, most people wouldn't think about it. But the first Lord of the Rings trilogy doesn't have as much CGI in it as you'd think. A lot of it pictures and stuff. Yeah,
the first one looks as good as it's going to get because that one they shot differently, right? Two Towers and Return of the King, I think, look great.
They might have used different cameras, but I think all three films were done on film. So like that part, like
there's a specific reason that Fellowship of the Ring doesn't look as good as the other two. I can't remember what it is. There's something that they did with it that for some reason, it's. I mean, the 4K disc is the best it's ever going to look. I can't see it looking better.
Yeah, I can't. I know you're right. I can't remember what it was that they were doing between, but no, but no, they're definitely worth it. But no, I don't. Eskimo Phono, it's one of those things you just got to kind of be picky and choosy and think about how much CGI is in something, and if it's a lot, and unless they've actually said they've gone back and upgraded it in any way, which I don't know any movie that has yet outside of Star Wars. Then you might not want to bother. But older films always look great in 4K. So anything older than like 95, good to go. Or anything that has no CGI, good to go.
Exactly. That's like the irony that movies from the 60s, for instance, look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
2001,
Great.
fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Exactly. Whereas Aliens, filmed in 1986, when all film stock was rotten, looks like crap.
Well, that's only been done. That's when they need to go back to the original negative.
Yeah.
That movie's been needing it for years. That's the other thing that I'm glad to see is that film preservation is getting, at least some movies are getting, a nice preservation, but there's going to be so many movies that won't, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. The majority won't, apart from some select ones, which have.
Well, it's like perfect example. We were looking when we were doing the Zorro documentary. We found a shorter version of Marcus Zorro in HD, but not the longer version. So there's a longer version that still has yet to be scanned in any high definition format.
Exactly. And for those of you curious, because just yesterday we released our ultimate Mark of Zorro retrospective. And if you go on over to Midnight's Edge Live Archives, you'll find the full movie there, the long version of it.
And we've actually, I don't know if we'll do it, but like I joked with Andre, we should do our own version with music and do the voices and cut out the little segments and actually just kind of do the Foley and everything. That'd be a hell of an endeavor, though. Curtis D of Montana says, will they do a director's cut of Lord of the Rings?
Both.
It's got both versions. Yep. That's
the first time ever that they didn't milk it. Because remember, DVD, you get the theatrical,
well,
you get the extended, and then even when it went to Blu-ray, they released the theatrical and then the extended. This time, they're both in the set.
Yeah, the movies are, but they are going to release a long.
With all the extras,
all the special features. Yeah,
they got all the special features from my Blu-rays.
But I heard, I guess he's putting together some new ones, and according to Robert Meyer Burnett, he's got a buttload of stuff that never made it on the Blu-ray. And I was talking to him. I think we were talking about it on the air, so I think I can talk about this. He's got a bunch of stuff from like a lot of the movies that he was behind the scenes on that he's like, well, I've never released any of this stuff. I'm like, yeah, but I guess you would own it. You did it. You delivered what you were contractually obligated to. As far as I can tell, you should be able to release some of this stuff on your own, and there's nothing they could do about it. He's like, you might be right. So he's got all this behind the scenes footage from like the X-Men, Superman Returns, Lord of the Rings, a bunch of stuff that he worked on that's never seen the light of day just because it never got into any documentaries. And they ain't going to come asking him for it. So I was like, yeah, you should get it out there.
Indeed. Yeah. And Manny Bothans sent us a super chat saying, I hope I'm not too late. Don't go see The Last Jedi.
Oh, didn't anybody?
We appreciate the thought.
They are still filming The Rise of Skywalker, though. So you're early for that.
Yeah.
BK coming in again with another Canadian super chat. Canadians are so nice. Wish miniatures, bigatures were used more often. I agree. I do agree. It's a lost art, and they just don't. The CGI effects don't work the same as some of the classic. I like the idea of using CGI or at least computers to combine things, but if you can do as much in practical in camera, all the better.
I agree.
Indeed.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah, like these two are great in 4K. Jaws. Oh my God. Jaws looks amazing.
Superman looks. I don't have Jaws, but I got Superman. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about Superman 2, but I like Superman 2.
I do.
I love Superman.
I love Superman 2. Both are.
I don't like the Donner
the first one.
Yeah.
I like the Donner cut more, but I wish they would have used one of the alternate endings instead of tacking on the original.
Well, actually, you have fan edits that do that. They kind of like make the ultimate mix of Donner and what's the guy that actually got final credit?
Richard Lester. But actually,
Lester, he made it once.
Outside of the ending, I do prefer the Donner cut, to be honest. But
why can't we have both?
We do.
I mean, they're not on 4K, and even in the Blu-ray release, the only thing I can ever find is the stupid Donner cut. Like, why can't they have both editions on a disc?
They're out there, unless they didn't do it separately. Though you got to buy the box set, but you can get that box set pretty cheap. That has both versions in it on Blu-ray.
I'll have to look.
Yeah. If not, I'll find a link for you and I'll send it off to you one of these days. Mark the Cyborg sends a Canadian $3.99 in. Canadians are indeed nice, eh? Yeah, you are, eh? And how you doing, Mark? It's been a while. We'll have to bring you in one of these days. It's been a while since I've had you on. But no, like what we were saying, we were talking about the. I think when HBO Max, now that they finally got 4K, they'll probably start doing a lot more. And Warner's has been way ahead of the game on the 4K front. So I wouldn't doubt that we'll get a 4K release of both versions eventually, unless they only did the Donner cut in 1080p. See, now that might be a situation, Flash, where you'll get your wish and we'll get the Lester version of Superman 2 in 4K, but we won't get the Donner cut because the same goes for the extended cuts of Superman. Both extended cuts of Superman.
I gotta be honest, so I personally prefer the Lester cut of that movie.
That's fair, man. That's totally fair. That's the one we grew up on, dude. I totally understand. Like, I can't take that away from you. To me, though, the Donner cut just flows better with the first movie.
It's just the ending of that movie is what ruined it for me. But I don't hate the Donner cut. I appreciate that it even got made, to be honest.
Yeah, up until that little bit of like if they wouldn't have tacked on the ending and all that stuff, that's my only gripe with the Donner cut. So, but again, I totally understand everybody's feelings on it, and it's totally justified. And you like what you like, and you love what you love. Don't let me stop you. So, all right, was there anything else that we needed to cover, Andre? I think we.
No, with that, I believe that we are up to date on everything. So I think it's time to round out the first Midnight Edge in the Morning live show of 2021.
Yeah, and we're so happy to have Mr. H along with us earlier on, and then Yellowflash coming in at the end. Thank you so much, buddy. It's been I know we finally got to hang out here recently, but it's been a while before that. But it's been fun talking to you. It's been too long other than that.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Anytime, man. You know the door's open. And Andre, anything else to plug or anything before we go?
Yeah, no, I just want to say thanks to the guests. Links to both their channels are in the description, and also do check out the video that we put out yesterday, the Ultimate Mark of Zorro retrospective. And with that, yeah, be sure to come back again on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 a.m. LA time, and. No, sorry, 9 a.m. LA time, I meant to say, and 6 p.m. Central European time. And of course, in addition to that, we have all the regular editorial content, which will be coming your way very soon.
Yellowflash 2 is the channel you want. So there you go.